by the awesome Meg, or if you're watching on Meg's channel, wow, that's a terrible picture of me. Or if you're watching on Meg's channel, you are joined by me. So we are going to be diving into store reviews, answering your guys' questions. So as we're going through, feel free to drop your questions in the chat, and we're going to make this fun. So we're going to be diving into some print-on-demand stores that people have shared in the community. And if you've tuned into any of these live streams before, the goal of them is really just to drop like, how's it going, Brian? First one in the comment section. But the goal of these is to get like right down into the nitty gritty and show what it's like actually, you know, operating the brands and like what we look for, and to kind of demystify the whole thing and, you know, cut through all the typical YouTube-y noise. Little Step of Faith, welcome. We Play Pickleball, welcome. How's it going, guys? And we also figured out, this is a huge update. We figured out, to be honest, Meg figured out how to update the chat. So now it is
it should be as live as we can make it. Yeah,
it's in real time. So before it was like kind of delayed. So let's make use of that. How's it going, Odd Chef? I love all the names. To make use of that, the first person to throw your store in the comment section. We're going to start off strong. We're going to dive right into your brand, and we're going to give it about another 30 seconds. If anybody has a brand ready, if not, we'll circle back to this later because we've got a bunch of good stuff pre-scheduled that we're going to go through. So how's it going? Amir's with 4 S's. Good to see you guys. I've been binge watching your videos and about to start my print on demand. Awesome. Best of luck. Well, maybe we can talk about some niches and some good options for you today. And a fan favorite that you guys have been liking, and I personally, whoa, that's not. How do I share? Oh, it's because, got it.
What?
There we go. It was doing the infinite
thing.
Okay, there we go. Are you guys able to see my, you guys seeing the screen? You're seeing in school right now? Can you pull it up? Make sure that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, we are going to start off, and if you just want to like read off keep the chat up as we.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my chat. I'm figuring it out. It may take a few minutes, but I'm getting there.
Sweet. All right, we're gonna jump right into the first store, which is Michael P. of Nerd Pump Club. And this is a fun brand. So this brand is coming to us from Michael inside of the community. And really, really good timing to be starting print on demand. If anybody is wondering, like given the time of year, we're heading into Q4. You have a solid like 30 days. Say you were to start within the next week or so in terms of like getting your brand off the ground. You'll have a solid 30 days to get up and running with your testing campaigns and stuff. And even though I wouldn't be aiming for this Q4 to be like a huge like record sales, like I'm going to quit my job by the end of this Q4, obviously, like I don't think anybody gets into those kind of expectations. That's not true. I did. I thought that I would be not just quitting my job. I thought my parents would be quitting their job in the first 4 or 5 months. But anyway, nobody else thinks like that. But point being, the reason that it is still a great time of year to get started is that you get the experience of going through the first Q4, because I've found that it takes like when you go into a Q4 having 1 year under your belt, you just approach things completely differently in terms of like, not just like your brand is more established, that's kind of obvious, but more so like your mindset of you've gone through, like, you know, the highs and the lows, and you know, like how your customers are acting that time of year versus, you know, the rest of the year. And I feel like that was the experience that I lacked my first time. And like I started, I would say like towards the beginning of a year. And then I had like a solid year of running the brand before I got to that Q4, but I was a complete newbie when it came to Q4. So if you're at all considering, and the reason I bring this up is I know it's a hot topic for people like around this time of year, like, is it good to start? Is it not? Should I wait until, you know, January? All that kind of stuff. Honestly, all said and done, it's like the old saying, like the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. 100% the case when it comes to print on demand. And
Agreed.
this is just like one of the, in addition to that, one benefit is that you get to like work through a Q4 right out of the gate, which is just a fantastic, time to be getting that experience. And also some stats. I know I said I was going to go into a store. We're going to do that in a second. This stuff has been really top of mind. Some stats that I think will be interesting for people is that, actually, I'm just going to pull up my screen. Would you guys like to see some Q4 stats from our brand last year? Throw in the chat if that would be interesting for you guys. This was a little presentation that we did in for one of the calls in the community the other day. I'll just give like a little sneak peek of it.
And congrats to what a Chusei. They got their first less than $1 CPC during testing.
Yeah.
Way to go. That's awesome.
That is a huge, huge milestone. Sorry, I'm typing and.
It's not easy multitasking.
No, I said that last time. I give streamers so much more credit. Before it looked like just like playing a video game and just like yapping at the camera. Maybe that is all that it is, but it's a lot harder than it looks. Also, how's the audio sound? By the way, if can you
Yes,
guys,
we definitely need a streamer deck. Very, very true. Perfect audio. Audio is good. Lovely.
yeah. So what I'm pulling up while Claude is finding
Working
where
its
it
magic.
Yeah, is a presentation that we did the other day in one of the cohort calls for the community, where it basically breaks down the sales and like revenue that we had last year in Q4, which this is from our brand. The point of sharing this is just to give a forecast, essentially, like what we expect heading into Q4, like how big of a deal is it really? Because like it's great, but like really like it's not all like magic, right? It's like what actually happens? Because I used to think like, oh, it's just going to be gangbusters, like maybe it'll be double, maybe it'll be 10x, who knows? So this kind of breaks down exactly from the ads to the products to like what product types we're selling to the designs, to customer service tickets. Did we have a spike? All of that kind of stuff.
I think the biggest thing for Q4 is one, going in with good intentions and like being excited about it. I know a lot of people in the community, after talking to them, I think it was last Q4, I never realized how many people were actually like really nervous about it. Like they kind of put a lot of pressure on themselves.
Yeah.
And really it should just be a time where you're having fun. Because it's when people are really excited to shop. They're looking to shop. It's a little less like needing to really sell people on it, because like they're just in that mood and that mindset already.
Yeah. All right, here it is. All right, we're pulling it up. So the plan today is for everybody who's joining, welcome. We're going to go through, we have a presentation prepared for you guys where we're talking about, here it is, Q4 and preparation. This is inside like our own brand, the stats that we saw. Let me see if I can share the screen without doing infinity screen. Can he do it? There we go.
It's good. Nope, it's back to infinity. Oh wait,
Oh, it should.
hold on. And we're good. Okay,
Nice.
solid.
Okay, perfect. Here it is. So here's the stats for anybody who's curious about like what happens. And I feel like this kind of stuff doesn't get shared all that much. It would have like helped me a ton. So this is a snapshot from our brand. This is a print on demand brand. It was Shopify. It's everything. If you guys have seen the course, this is like exactly what we talk about all day long. It's Shopify selling nothing but t-shirts. Well, that's not true. It was 93% t-shirts. There was 7% of crew necks, hoodies, tank tops, And this goes through, like, you can see obviously the spike that we had in the revenue. So July, August, September, these months, it just kind of petered along. And then October, things started to pick up a little bit more. And then into November, and then December is where things really peaked. And then we'll talk about like what happened here for the drop off period.
And
like,
then going into Q1.
Yeah, exactly. And then what happened here, and then what we can expect heading on, later. So, here it is straight up, or like right from the horse's mouth. So Q3 of 2025, we did $322,000 in sales. And then in Q4, it was $814,000, which obviously if I was starting out, I would look at these numbers and go, that's freaking awesome. Like, I'm trying to get my first sale or like my first 10. So it's all relative, right? Like, the thing that really matters is just look at the number over here. It's during this period of time, we aim for roughly a 2.5x increase in sales. And some brands, to be totally frank, they go much bigger. They go, 3-4 times. Which is a huge jump in terms of like revenue increase from the previous quarter. Especially like we added an additional over 10,000 orders, like the sessions increased. So roughly 2.5x. That demystifying Q4, that's roughly what we aim for. And a question that comes up a lot is this one right here, the refund rate. Especially during the holidays, people think like, oh, did it spike through the ceiling? No, it was actually pretty consistent. And a really interesting one is conversion rate jumped up substantially, going from 2.12% to 2.7. So basically, what this tells us so far is that we sold more, which makes sense. We had a lot more traffic to the site, and we had a lot more people that were actually converting. And then beyond that, so it's 2.5x. This is where like how the revenue kind of breaks down. And this was fascinating for me because for the longest time, I thought, and I don't know about you guys, like before I was like really selling in e-commerce, I always assumed that the majority of the sales was just happening right here. You know what I mean? Like Black Friday, you think like Friday weekend, Friday, maybe Saturday, Sunday, and now like Cyber Monday. I thought that was just going to be it. That was actually just 13% of the sales.
Yeah.
So like when you break down everything, like pre-Black Friday, beginning of November, was 22%. And then after, Claude's still doing Claude things. And then into December, the first half of December was massive. It was 31%. So the takeaway here is that Black Friday, it's not really just a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday thing anymore.
It keeps going.
It is not only does it keep going, it starts way earlier than in years past. So this year, what we're planning for is beginning of November. Some brands are going even like end of October. Like that's when they're starting, which is kind of crazy. Like before Halloween.
I mean, I feel like you have to kind of compare it to like when you walk into like a Target or a Walmart, they are immediately like, watch what the stores are doing, because that is typically your like go signal to be like, okay, it's appropriate now for me to like advertise for this. It could be back to school. It could be Halloween. It could be Christmas, whatever it is. So if you watch those big brands and you start to see their new like merchandise and stuff coming in for the next big holiday or anything like that, I take that as our signal of like, okay, time to start cranking those ads and like trying to test and see if we can get anything going. Cause they're always early and they're always on top of it. So, and they have a lot of people who are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and to do all this market research, and they have the data. So I would trust their data.
It's whatever Target does. That's what you want to be doing. Sorry, I just took a really long time to. There we go. All right, now we're ready. So takeaway here is that Q4 or Black Friday is like a beginning of November to December 15th sprint, essentially. And when I say sprint, it's really a marathon. So that's another takeaway from this is don't go into it thinking like it's going to be 3, 4, 5 days. Plan for it's several weeks in a row where we're like on top of things and like things are moving really quickly. So here's another interesting takeaway and when I say interesting, I was like kind of shocked by this one. Most people, And throw in the chat, like, if you thought this too. Most people think heading into the holidays, people are buying like the holiday designs, and that's what's really taking off. This, and again, this is a sample size, n equals 1. This is just our brand. So take it for what it is. Like if you surveyed 1,000 brands, probably get different data. But from our brand specifically, 77% of the designs that sold during Q4 were created before Q3. So again, and for everybody who's joining us, this is a Shopify print-on-demand brand selling like 93% t-shirts and doing nothing but Facebook and Instagram. It's the same platform to the website. And then we have email on the back end. That's literally it. And it's print-on-demand. And
which honestly, I think it makes sense that this was the breakdown of the catalog, because it frustrates me when you see all these like videos come out and it's like, it's time to get like this holiday designs out. And yes, I do see the positive in that. But when I think of when I go shopping for you or our families at Christmas, I'm never buying somebody a Christmas thing. Really, the only time I'm ever buying something that's like a Christmas specific t-shirt is if I have like an ugly Christmas shirt party or like an ugly sweater party. Like that's the only time. No, but that's the only time I'm buying like those like specific holiday types of shirts. And yes, there's certain niches that will lean towards them more. For example, I think of teachers because of like my mom and my sister are both teachers, and every holiday it was always like, oh my gosh, I got the cutest Halloween shirt. And like, oh, I picked one up for you. They always want that kind of stuff. But I think the majority of people out there, the majority of shoppers during Q4, they're looking for gifts, and you're not always going to gift somebody like a Halloween t-shirt. So I think it makes sense that like the majority of the designs that sold were evergreen designs that were created prior to all the holiday season.
Yeah, and here's the breakdown. So 6,000. So these are our top 8 designs that sold through Q4. And you can see this design number 1 sold 6,000 units. And this design, it was very simple typography based. It was only typography. And it was just a inside joke related to that specific niche. And it was a kind of unique design that evoked like nostalgia and humor, but just very simple. There's no like, black magic behind, what drove that design. But and then design number 2 was 1,800 sales. And we sell our tees for $29.99. And then we have a roughly $45 average order value. But the interesting thing here is that one of our top designs, our number 3 actually, was launched in the middle of, well, I guess not technically. Yeah, no, that's almost exactly in the middle of Q4. So point being, keep launching designs all through Q4. Design number 6 was November 14th. So that's where like, depending on the way that we approach Q4 is that we want to keep launching designs. We know that the product type that's going to sell the best, here we go, right on cue. Love it when it works out. Here is out on our site, we have t-shirts, we have crew necks, we have hoodies, we have tank tops. Do we have any long sleeves right now? I don't think so.
Very, very few.
Yeah, very few.
There's a few because Monster Digital just brought them onto their catalog like last year.
Okay, so very few long sleeves, but 94% stayed t-shirts through Q4. So, which, geez, Claude is just, it's going to the corners of my computer right now. And sometimes it pops up and it's like, do you want to give it access to everything? I'm like, sure, why not?
Sure, control the live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just take it. Social security number, have it. But yeah, 94% was t-shirts. So 2 big takeaways in terms of the product type is that people are buying the same designs that they would buy all year long, and they're also buying t-shirts even in the dead of winter, because even though, oh my God, Jesus, even though
really needs Apple Music,
even though it's people are buying even though it's cold outside, people still need something to wear underneath their shirt. That's the takeaway. Jesus Christ.
Under their sweatshirt.
Yes, there we go. All right, email was 31% in Q3, and then it was 29% in Q4. But basically, we 2.3x. So email is absolutely massive. We slept on this heavily in years past, and it's one of the biggest mistakes that I see beginners make, is they just do not email people enough during Q4. They hold back. They're like very restricted or close to the chest, thinking like they don't want to bother people or nobody wants to see my email. Like whatever it is, just put that out of your mind and just burn these stats into your brain, because we sent more campaigns during Q4 than any other time of year, but the number of unsubscribes decreased by 33%. I'm going to say that again because it's really important, and it took me 4 to 5 years of running through Q4 before I finally broke this belief, and that is people do not care how much you are emailing them during Q4. Send more emails than you are planning on sending. We sent way more last year than we had in years past, and we're going to send even more this year because that's what people are expecting. They want to see like offers and emails and hear about your new designs, and the proof is right here. We sent more emails. Like you can see campaigns sent. We sent 59 through Q4, and the unsubscribe rate dropped substantially. It's pretty insane.
I was going to say, yes, absolutely. Email is a massive, massive asset, and you should be building it on day one. It doesn't mean like you need to be immediately sending emails, but we should be collecting emails from day one. Start building that list. It's so, so important. Something that I see in the community whenever we talk about emails, a lot of people get hung up about how they like their inbox, of how many times they want to be emailed, but you need to throw that out. Like literally throw it out of your mind and go with like the best practices of email marketing. There's tons of resources that are out there. I mean, now we have Claude and ChatGPT that we can be asking and pulling all this information, but we should be emailing our customers way more than any of us probably would ever want to be emailed. And if they're not interested, they're going to unsubscribe. They're going to get off of your list. But the majority of the people, they're going to stay on your list. A lot of them are going to open your emails from time to time. They're going to click, they're going to come back and buy. And that is where like the true profit is built.
Yep. All right, let's do some store reviews. So that's a little bit of a precursor for Black Friday. And stay tuned for future live streams as we head in. What is Claude doing? It is just nonstop. Right, how do I turn? Stop that. Claude, stop everything. Whatever you are doing. All right, live stream store review time. Let's do it. So stay tuned for future live streams as we head into Q4. We're going to be doing stuff like that. Was just fun going through the stats and stuff. That's cool, but it's helpful precursor type info. But as we get into Q4, it's going to be way more valuable, as we're literally going to be live streaming, like actually running the brand and doing stuff like this, like us with our laptop showing the ad account and all that kind of thing. Because that was the kind of stuff that I would have absolutely died for when I was like figuring out my first brand, especially like just feeling like you have people that you're able to be in the cockpit with and like run the brand and know, like, should I be thinking this way? Am I, is my energy level like right? Am I focused on the right stuff? Like all the stuff that you don't think. It's like the environmental cues. You're like, I don't really know if I'm on the right track. Right, come here, Frankie.
Gotta wrangle the dog.
Here we
go.
Come
say hi.
Say hi, Frankie. This is Frankie, everybody.
He's our one-year-old little pup.
Yeah, this is the Wheescale Wiener. And he loves to be on the live stream. Okay, you want to take him for a couple minutes?
I got him.
All right. Anybody throw any stores in?
Yeah, there have been a few.
I'm going to take one of those, and we're going to go through
Wildlife Coffee Club, Gathervine.
What's the URL?
There's not URLs. You just have to do a search. Sorry. Gathervine and Wildlife Coffee Club.
Beautiful. All right. The first store review. Let's get after it. Oh, wow. That owl is having a heck of a day. I regret waking up. Barely functioning. These are funny. Okay. So let's go to bestsellers. Sweet. All right, we're just going to do litany mode. It's where we just rattle off as many things we can possibly find and throw in the chat what you guys think as well. I've learned way more from reviewing stores than I ever have from running my own. So that's why we do these, not just for the person whose brand this is, which also to the person who submitted this, like hats off to you. It takes a lot of courage to throw your name in the hat, so to speak. So especially before coffee. So the first things that I would recommend is and one of the most common questions we get, kind of surprisingly, is like, how should I organize my products? In reality, it really doesn't matter. Just have one big collection. And we had just one big collection for probably like the first couple $1 million in sales. Like literally one feed of every single t-shirt all in one spot. Like the organizing of the stuff up here, and I don't see a ton of it on this site, which is great. The organizing of the stuff is something that you don't need to focus on as much. Like, but I find that brands that are like sub $1 million in sales, they focus heavily on like, should I have like my humor collection and then like my graphic collection and like, what?
He sold this. We have a toy on our counter, and it's supposed to be a gift, but I think it's gonna have to be.
Okay, fine. Yeah. It's a gift for him.
Yep, there we go.
Anyway. Okay, so first piece of feedback here on this brand. Make sure that you just have every design in one collection. Right now I see just 12. I'm assuming that either A, they're in a different collection, and if that's the case, bring them all together. You do not need like bifurcated collections all over the place. You just want one main collection that you're optimizing for, and that is literally all you need to grow to 7 figures. Just one collection, one feed of your t-shirt designs. So first things first, the thing that stands out the most to me is get rid of this thing. Just take this out back and beat it with a sledgehammer. This 15% off thing. Everybody check on your site. This is one of the biggest conversion rate killers. Not a huge deal on desktop, but on mobile, it's freaking huge. Just picture like, and all this is consumer psychology stuff. If you're a shopper on your site and as you're scrolling on your phone, there's a big blocking thing at the bottom, blocking your view. It's a terrible experience. So get rid of these things. And the reason I get so adamant about them is that every single email software, known to man, they always do this because it is something that incrementally improves the perceived value of their brand, of their app rather, but it completely demolishes the overall effectiveness of your site. So it's the epitome of like cutting off your nose to spite your face, but they'll never say that to you. But it's like for Klaviyo or whoever this is, I think it's Klaviyo, and they all do it. Yeah, it's Klaviyo. They all do it because technically, yes, you're going to get a few more email subscribers by having this here, which then, yes, by extension, will get you a few more email sales, but it misses the whole point, which is to get people to buy from your site. And so that's why doing live streams like this, I find to be really, really important because every tool out there, every software that you could ever sign up for, they're always going to give you these types of things that you never know to look for. You never know that it's not in your best interest because you would think like, oh, the software is just going to do it. And also they're going to do what's in my best interest. And also like they're not evil companies. It's not like they're sitting there putting this much thought into it. And like, I want to cut off their nose. Like they're not thinking like that, but it's kind of like Meg's a nurse for anybody who didn't know. It's one of the things that Meg talks about is that when you're the patient, you go to all these different specialists, and that's great. The specialist is there to give you the best advice that they can with the information they have at the time, but it is still your job to, what the term you use is like self-advocate.
Yeah, you should self-advocate. It's I definitely see where you're going with this. I view it more as like your primary care doctor is kind of like your compass that you like come back to and puts all those pieces back together. Like when you go to a specialist, like let's say you're going to a cardiologist, they're only focusing on your heart. It could be a multi kind of system thing, but they're only going to give you information about your heart.
Yeah.
And then you take that back to your primary care. And it's the same thing with all these like little apps and stuff. So all the email, companies, they're going to do everything they can. They're going to teach you as much about email and all of that, but it's really coming back to kind of that primary care doctor, and you need to kind of nurture your site to truly work for your avatar, for your customer.
Yeah. So the best way that you can do that is just like have your own opinion of what looks good and like show up to live streams and do trainings like this, so you start to build an understanding of like, what does your site need to look like, from a high level. So on that topic, things that I notice on the product page, one quick thing that a lot of beginners miss is this right here. The number of the colors of your shirts on the collection page. This seems like such a minor thing, but you want to vary it. You don't want it to have just like a stream of red down the side like this, just because people, when they're on mobile specifically, they see this as like, what's it called? They see this as 2x2, and it's not a huge deal here, but this is the kind of thing that can really lead to a big drop off, is when it's just like too much of the same thing. But then onto the product page, overall, this looks really nice. And also what I'm doing to get to the mobile view is you just right click, then you go to inspect. This is if you're on Chrome. And the reason I do this is because this is how 80% of your shoppers are actually seeing the site. So overall, super clean. I think this is a Build My Pod
It is a Build My Pod site, I can tell.
Super clean. That's great.
But did you see how Chris just closed? There was the pop-up down in the bottom corner, and it could, now this isn't like a perfect replica of like what you would see on your phone, but there is a chance that that was blocking that add to cart button, or potentially blocking their checkout button.
Why is that text so, okay. So another thing to watch for, we've talked about this on previous live streams, but here's things that I love by fellow caffeine addicts. That's fantastic. I would lean into that branding heavily. Anything that gives your avatar, like, you're not selling t-shirts, you're buying the emotion, you're buying the connection that people have. Like our best selling shirts, it's never just like the design. It's something, it evokes an emotion, whether if it's humor, whether if it's nostalgia, whether if it's connection, it evokes something. It is not just like something that sits on a wall, like in their mind. It's something that like really strikes a chord with them. And so I would lean into the simplest way to apply that to your brand is like, what is the most like evangelical version of your avatar look like? Like the one who's the most passionate, and then just kind of amp it up a little bit. That's why I love the caffeine addicts. It's like for yoga, you don't want to just call them like, people who do yoga. You want it to be like the yogis, like the yogi movement. And why does this keep happening? But here's the thing that I did not like is notice how I add to cart. You guys see down here, notice how small that text is. That should be the same size as this cart here. So see that there. And then I would also recommend taking off Shop Pay as well. And let's do one more. Oh, wow. They got free shipping after just 2 shirts. Okay. Free shipping should be set at the price where they have to buy 3 shirts. Reason being is that anything less than that, and you were just giving away, no pun intended, you're giving away your shirt. It's too cheap. You don't want to give away free shipping too low. So we set it so that it's 3 products or more. Another thing on this product page that I do love is how the add to cart button is above the fold. That's fantastic. On most Shopify themes, for whatever reason, it's buried down here-ish. So that, and people just clutter up this area with a whole bunch of stuff. This being above the fold is absolutely massive. Free shipping on orders 50 plus. Yeah, this should be $75 and up. But overall, I like the brand. In terms of the designs, if you're starting off with your first collection of designs, this is really important if you're making your first like 100 designs. You do not want to go into it just thinking like, okay, I'm going to make design number 1 and then just start generating stuff. You want to have a blueprint in your mind, like basically a framework of the designs that you're going to be creating. So for example,
Is this like typography, graphic, that kind of?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were pulling up something we already had.
Typography, graphic, plus graphic. So most people, they just go in and start generating their designs like this. They just go like, all right, this is design number 1. And then I got design 2, and then design 3. And the point here is just the randomness to it. It's like you do research. It's like, say I'm in the, like we'll go with this brand. Like I'm in the coffee space. So I would do research and I'll come up with like, all right, what do coffee lovers like? And I would like look on Etsy, look on Pinterest, like what are the styles, the typography, those kind of things. And I have just like kind of this big flurry of information in my mind. And then I just try to channel this into, okay, now I make design 1, and then I make design 2, and then design 3. And then that is just such a long process because you're not chunking it down at all. What you want to be doing is, as you're coming up with your original designs, chunk it down in your mind and break it up into sprints. So break it up in terms of, and here's like the most high level way that you could possibly do this. It's by typography plus graphic, and then just graphic only. And so instead of just doing the research for, these for the niche and then just getting after it randomly, you would have like 30, the goal is 30 typography designs. And then the goal is 30 graphic designs. And then it's 30 typography plus graphic. And then within that, you could have, again, I give streamers a lot more credit after doing this. I'm like, I can either draw good or I can talk good. Not both good. And then over here, we would have humor.
You basically want to think about like I would say you want to think about your customers. What are their desires in that niche? What are their fears in that niche? What do they find funny? What language do they use? What are their frustrations? Like really dig into who that person is, because again, a lot of times it's like, oh, I'm just selling a t-shirt. Well, we're selling a design that's directly speaking to somebody. And we want that customer, when they see our design, to go, oh my gosh, that's me. This person literally understood who I am. And that's what gets them to buy. It's not that somebody is scrolling Facebook and like, oh my gosh, I needed a new graphic t-shirt. Like no one has that in mind. We're stopping their scroll because we are talking directly to that person in a way that most brands do not talk to them.
Yeah. And this is like, this chunking exercise will help you speed up the process and less about the speed, more about like the second guessing, and the diversification of your catalog will be completely different if you do this. So what I recommend for everybody is, if you're making your first 100 designs, or if you're looking at your collection and you're just like, they all feel kind of repetitive, or I'm not really sure if any of these are good, or I feel like I've just been hammering on image generation and I feel like I'm kind of losing the thread, just take a step back. First, all of that is very, very normal and it makes sense. And that's a pattern that you should get very, very comfortable with navigating, not the feeling of like everything's repetitive. That we want to, like, there's things you can definitely do about that, but you want to get comfortable with navigating that, because you are a apparel brand, to state the obvious. You are in fashion and you are going to be doing this a lot. And the success of your brand is dependent on many factors, but most importantly of all, it is the quality and the diversity of your catalog. Because your product, say I just zoom in and every single design that I create is only a typography humor design. I might like strike gold, and maybe like with the coffee niche, that just like really lands. It's like typography and humor, and that is actually pretty good. To the owner of this brand, I would recommend adding in more typography and like dry humor specifically for coffee. That will do very well. If you're like in the like in the music niche, like nostalgia is a great one, or like in the history niche, nostalgia is a great one. Or if you're in like the yoga niche, then typography and what's it called? Not nostalgia, but like what's like the just breathe? There's a word for that, where it's like sentimental value, like that type of design. But if you just, what I see a lot of people do without even being aware of it, is they kind of just like zoom in on one area because they don't go into it with like this hierarchical plan of like basically the architecture that they want to have in the catalog. And so then they just end up hitting the same pocket of people again and again and again. Opposed to like, if you zoom out, there's a lot of people who like, I never wear typography based shirts, but I'll wear something that has a graphic on it as long as it's like a very simple graphic. But Meg might be the kind of person that she only wears typography shirts. And we both might really like coffee and be in the same niche, but we just have different tastes in our design style. And a lot of times what you see is people will let their own like predisposition towards their own style dictate what the entire catalog becomes, which is like, nobody can fault you for that happening, but it's one of the fastest ways to pigeonhole yourself and to not give your brand the shot that it deserves. Whereas if you say, again, coffee niche, if you go at it with, I'm going to have my first initial batch, I'm just going to do scattershot approach. I'm going to have 15 typography and humor, 15 graphic and humor, 15 typography plus graphic and humor. Already that's a very diversified group.
Yeah.
And that's just the first 45. Then if you say, and I wouldn't do nostalgia for coffee, I would do more of like inside jokes or common sayings or like relatable phrases or
like frustrations in the world where like coffee is the solution.
Yeah. That's a good one. And then do typography, graphic, like that kind of thing. So I'm going to digress from that, but hopefully that gives you an idea of like, a lot of times people just go in and they're like, I'm in coffee. And then they just kind of get after it and totally get it. But if you just apply something like this to the way you're making your catalog,
it basically
totally different output.
I like to think of it kind of like the food pyramid. Like, how do you make sure you have a well-balanced diet? This is like the way of making sure you have a well-balanced catalog
once thought
of
it
designs.
like that, but yeah.
I mean, like,
didn't the food pyramid turn out to be like a giant scam or something?
They redid it.
No, I think they just flipped it upside down.
They redid it. It's fine.
It was like a South Park episode from years ago was them flipping it upside down, and that's actually what they did.
I'm just saying it. So when you open up your site, it feels like there's something for everybody within your niche.
Yeah.
And not everything is the same.
Agreed. All right, next brand. Let's knock it out. And for anybody who's joining late, welcome. We are doing live store reviews and hanging out. We talked about some Q4 shenanigans, what kind of metrics we can expect. Here are some of our best emails, jumping back over, speaking of Q4, that we did. So where's the dog?
I let him out.
He's just back there eating bees.
He's just out there.
Okay, so this is extremely valuable. I recommend like screenshotting this. This is how we were structuring our offers or our campaigns that we were sending out leading into Q4. So when you're setting up your campaigns for the holiday season, start it as early as November 1st. And the best part about this is that the emails that were performing the best for us were these guys here. The new design added. Well, I'll say this. The emails that were performing the best leading up to Black Friday, I'll set aside this chunk of time because this is like a different set of circumstances. This is like go time. This is peak, so set that aside. Yeah. But I'll say unexpectedly exciting time of year is the weeks leading up to Black Friday. So do not sleep on these times. The emails that we send, it literally looks like this. And I can literally write out quite literally. This is exactly what the emails look like. It is, and you guys are not going to believe this, but this email I'm about to write, we have sent thousands of times. Yeah, quite literally. So the subject line is something to the effect of new designs added, or we might do like, and we do variations of these, 50 plus new designs added. And then you throw in like a yoga emoji, pretend like we're in the yoga niche, or peace sign. So this is the subject line right there. And then, yes, Claude, go ahead.
Still doing its thing.
I don't even know what it's doing right now. And then the body is hey, and then
name.
The person's name. Yep. And then we just default it to like the avatar, like if we don't have the name for them. And then we have one sentence about the new collection / motivation behind it. So an example of this would be like when I started doing yoga, or better yet, yoga for many of us transcends the physical, and the greatest impact can be felt like in the spiritual. And that is the motivation behind the collection. Our team is so proud to introduce you today. Something along those lines that states like the mission behind it. And then you would share something about like the actual pieces. Like it's 50 new pieces that are inspired by ...
nature, humor, like whatever you've been making designs about, whatever's been working, whatever been getting clicks in your catalog.
Yeah. And then you'd say, and then you have like your CTA sentence. Like, so if that sounds like something you're interested in, you can
check them out here.
Check them out here. And then you would hyperlink this and say new arrivals. Oops, I missed the 50 plus new arrivals. Shop now. Something like that. And then you would hyperlink this, not the whole thing. you would hyperlink just this. Here, let me change that back.
Yeah.
You would.
You got to copy paste it.
It's okay. I got a different idea.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Perfect.
You guys see that? That's blue. It means it's hyperlinked. So.
And that's it.
That is the email. Why does this work? I can't tell you because I don't know. I'm just kidding. It works because it's super simple. It feels personable. It feels like I'm actually, me as the brand owner, it feels like I'm just shooting you a quick note, letting you know about it. And the key element to this is that you sign off with like your personal like name or like the avatar for your brand. And so bringing this all together, when we run our Shopify print on demand brand selling literally just t-shirts, we are selling so much more than just the t-shirt. You are selling the connection. You are selling the attachment. Like you are selling the identity of helping this person feel like more attached to their yogi self. And not only that, you are like the avatar. You are the aspirational state that they want to get to. Like that is you. And this is not just for yoga, obviously. That's just one specific niche. Like take this to history or to coffee or to nature or hiking, any one of those, like you are who the avatar like aspires to be, which I know can sound weird, but it's really just whenever you like show off like your knowledge or your interest or your passion about your niche, that is aspirational for people. And the more that you can like bottle that up and put that into a product that they're able to buy and consume and feel that much more connected, that is not only invaluable, it's also something that people are willing to pay for time and time and time again. That is why like when people say like, oh, t-shirts don't work, it's like, yeah, the way that you're doing it probably does not, because the way we do it, I don't even see it as we're selling t-shirts. I see it as we are selling this. We are selling the connection. We are selling like the aspirational identity that the person wants to become. And it's like, you have to read the emails from your customers. You have to see the comments. You have to see the photos that they submit before you really recognize the impact. And I'd say that from personal experience, because I saw it as just us selling t-shirts, and I would see like our site and I'm like, I'm just selling this red t-shirt that has a picture of a snail on it. And I'm just running ads where I pay $1 and then I get this sale. It's not that. Those are all the mechanics behind it. But just like anything that you achieve like mastery in, how you can just explain and you see it at a different level, the same thing is true here. What you are really selling is the connection that people have. So take that for motivation behind your brand. Take that as, yes, Claude, we see you. Take that as, validation for continuing to work at it, like whatever it may be, or take it as like the marketing lesson that I took it as, which is people, and this is Simon Sinek, like start with why, fantastic TED Talk on this. People don't buy who you are or what you do, they buy why you do it. So on that note, what other stores do we have submitted? Or do we have some questions? Let's go to the chat. Whoops. Performance warning. Don't care about that. How's it going? Lots of questions. All right, let's see. Throw in the chat. Wanted to ask, what do you guys think about printing at the back of the shirt? Personally, I love them, but I see you don't use that option at all. Any reason for that? Yeah, you don't need to. You can do it, but you really don't have to. Our brands have done multiple seven figures doing literally nothing but the big, ugly chest print on the beginning. Hey, I'm having trouble getting my add to cart button above the fold. It seems clean, but it seems the variant pickers are too big. Do you know what I can do to make it smaller? And what they're talking about is this right here, just so we're all looking at the same thing. They're talking about right here. So they're trying to get their add to cart button above the fold, which is one of my fun facts I love sharing every time. Above the fold comes from newspaper terms back in the olden days, the thing that used to show up at your door. And above the fold was the most valuable real estate on the entire newspaper because it was the only section of the paper that you could virtually guarantee that the recipient was going to actually see. So that translates now over to digital times, where above the fold is the section of the page that is that loads without the consumer having to interact with it at all. Again, the point being it's more valuable because it's the only section you can guarantee they're going to see. So with that being said, what do we want to do with that knowledge? That sounds super fun and it makes us really popular at cocktail parties. We make our CTA, which stands for call to action, basically the big button we want customers to click because then we make money. That button, we want it to be above the fold. You don't want it to be.
You don't want them to have to scroll down too far. Right. They're gonna leave.
Yep. And so their question here, which is a good one, is their variant. Basically, the buttons here are taking up too much space. And if you've either started your store or you're about to start it, it's very common that you'll have to tinker with this stuff. It's very rare that it's just perfect. So don't think that there's something wrong with your site by any means. A lot of times it comes down to these little things in here, like this little padding, where you almost start to feel like you're going insane looking at it. Like, how many pixels is it? Like, if I zoom in like super far,
yeah.
Like, is this even spacing? Like, is this even? This looks like a little bit less space than that. Then this is a bigger padding. Then this is less. So the way you fix it, to answer your question, is let me go back over to here. The way that you fix it is that the way that we're editing our theme now is, one, you can either use Build My Pod, which is buildmypod.ai. It's the totally free store builder that we made that basically sets up the theme exactly how we use it on our stores. It's not a guarantee of conversions or anything. It's just like in the first course that we did, which I'm curious, throw in the chat, has anybody here gone through the very first course, the one that came out going on, what was it, Meg, 2 years ago? 2.5?
Almost 3.
Jesus Christ, almost 3 years ago.
I think so.
That very first course, there was literally a 365-step checklist that we gave to people in it was a Google Sheet that went through everything in Shopify. Yeah, Tammy, yes, Odd Chef, yeah, a couple of you guys. Today was the biggest sales day I had since starting in July. Congrats. That's awesome. Frank is clapping for you too. There he is. But point being is that checklist, we basically bundled up all of that stuff that was, you had to go through and check all the boxes and customize the theme. We threw out all of that and just built Build My Pod, and it's completely free. So fastest way to fix the variant thing that you were talking about is to do that. Odd Chef, I used that checklist several times. Yeah, I yeah, I feel your pain. It was lots of good practice though. Another question we have here. I'm building my POD store with WooCommerce, Shopify using Printify.
Printful and maybe Gelato.
No, pick one. Pick one. Just use Shopify, and then we use Printify because it has the best margins. You do not need all three. I would guess you're going with all three because it has a broader product catalog. I'm with you that my first store had at least like 2 or 3 dozen different product types and then lots of sub products within those. You do not need that. You need one product type. And is the t-shirt business saturated? I love when people think this because it's great for us. No, it is not. There are billions of t-shirts sold every year. The average person owns 12 or 13 of them. They are consumable, meaning they wear through them and they're extremely giftable. No, t-shirts are not saturated. T-shirts on marketplaces, I can't speak to because marketplaces have a predetermined amount of traffic. With with like running your own brand, the total addressable market is the entire world. So until the world has bought as many t-shirts as they're going to, like you're fine.
Yeah.
So
and also just if you do the math, like I love breaking down the math of like, okay, my niche particularly, how many buyers are in there? What if I am only 0.1% of the market and it's like 7 figures? You're like, okay, cool. Like I'm not, it's fine. So once you break down the math, I think that really puts it into perspective.
Oh, we have a 1.5-year-old wiener dog too. Nice. Frankie's almost 1. He's coming up on it. What are our thoughts on free shipping? I love free shipping. That's why I use Amazon Prime. I'm assuming that you mean free shipping on our sites though. We do $75 plus free shipping on our sites. Another question from your Eastern Shore. I'm going from BMP to BMP V2 building now, and I appreciate the defaults are set to what you're saying. Awesome. Yeah, the team like worked really hard on BMP V2, which again is literally completely free. We just made it to replace the massive checklist. It's a huge time saver. If you are launching a Shopify print-on-demand brand, cannot recommend using it enough. It costs you literally nothing. And my favorite feature, I'm curious what your favorite feature is, but in the new theme, and also I'll just pull up what Build My Pod is in case anybody hasn't seen it. But my favorite feature in the new theme is that there's they basically made it so that, you know how when you go to a site and you have like 100 different products on the collection, and it's like the main question people have is, well, how are they going to find the products? And in the past, the answer was, well, you're just going to like basically reorder it. And if you have, which means you then have to be on top of things. Yeah, there's Claude again. Pull up Sloth Hiking Club, for example. So say, like 1,000 different products on the store at this point. The question is like, when you send traffic to the site, how is somebody going to possibly see, like say you just launch a new design and it's on page 65.
Yeah, because it's by default going to go all the way to the back.
And like Eric's been crushing these. A lot of these look really freaking good.
Yeah.
Like here's an example of an iteration on his bestseller. He added like that's really clever. But anyway, say somebody is seeing this at design in a catalog, then they go to the site and it's back of the collection. What the Build My Pod V2 theme does is there's a code snippet. Doesn't matter how it works. the amazing developers behind the scenes make it happen. But basically, oh my gosh, Claude. Basically, it will reorder the collection so that this product that they clicked on shows up at the beginning. So what that does is it allows you to not forget about the order of the collection. It's still good to be mindful of like what's selling and have your finger to the pulse.
Yep.
But it allows you to basically just focus on putting as many products into the catalog as possible. And then whenever somebody clicks on that design, you can guarantee that they're going to see that product at the top of the collection. So it's really cool. And then Meg, what was your favorite feature it was something with the color variants that they added.
We basically built in King Swatch. So that way Swatch King. V1 was based off of the meta fields on Shopify, but there was this weird Shopify Printify bug. So if you had to tweak the design on Printify, it would break. So we basically built in Swatch King completely for free. Yeah.
So it allows you to cut out some apps as well too. So anyways, if you have not upgraded to the new theme yet, I recommend it. It's free. Would you guys mind looking at my store? Yeah, throw the name of your store in the chat, not the URL, YouTube or Restream. Something blocks it. So just drop in the name. And we're going to do a couple more in a little bit here.
There are a few on school too.
Sweet. All right. I did my catalog ads and overall CPC is $2. But when I did a mock-up ad, I got 2 sales. Nice. With an average of about 80 cents. When I look at the catalog ads, do I look at the individual CPC of each shirt? Well, first off, congrats on the 2 sales. That's great. And it's also very normal for somebody to, like the order of operations that we do is we test out the product, we test out the mock-up first. And I'll share, let's use this as a example. So and this is a process that we've refined a ton, especially like shout out to everybody who went through the original course from 3 years ago, and we've just like refined it year after year. The first thing that we test when we are launching the beginning of our brand is we focus on the mock-up itself. So we just look at the you guys can't see that. So we first are testing for the mock-up, so we ignore the design that's on there. I don't know why you can't see that either. There we go. So the first thing that we're looking for is we're testing out the mock-up to basically make sure that the picture frame is good. And so what this person is saying, sorry, I can't see the chat right now. They're saying that when they tested the mock-up, they were getting 80-cent cost per clicks, which is great. We're aiming for anything less than $1. But then they're saying that once they started running the catalog, that they were getting $2 cost per clicks, basically once they started adding in the designs in the middle, which you're like, what sense does that make? If I already tested the mock-up and I was getting 80-cent cost per clicks, why would it then jump up substantially? The reason for that is that it's because you were basically your designs, it's testing through so many that the cost of your catalog ad is going to be the highest when it starts off, and then it'll drop off over time as Meta is finding more designs that it likes. So basically, if you picture like it has 1,000 or 100 different guesses, like naturally, like half of the guesses in the catalog are just not going to work out. But it has to spend something on those in order to verify that they are not going to work. And then it's able to move on to the cheaper and cheaper and like more effective ones. So just using that as a example, here, you look at the individual design. CPC, you don't look at the overall catalog when you're testing, because the entire game, when you first launch your catalog ad, is not to sit there and watch it. You want to see which designs are getting the clicks and then quickly iterate on those. You want like immediately. And that's a big thing. Like one of the best questions somebody's ever asked is, if you were to launch a brand today, why would you be more successful, or why would you achieve success faster than you did when you started out? And which is a really like thought-provoking question. And the answer is not in how different, like what I'm doing today is pretty similar to what I was doing back then. It's just two main things. It's what I'm not doing, and it's the speed of iteration. Meaning what I'm not doing is when I launch something, like when I launched my first store, when things weren't working, what did I do? I didn't refine it. I didn't improve. I would just start doing a whole bunch of different random stuff. Picture if you were like trying to train for a race, like for a marathon, and you went out and you ran your first, you did like your first training run, and then you did it again the next day, and you're like, I'm no faster. And then your follow-up like thought process to that is, okay, well now I should try weightlifting, and I should try band exercises, and I should try gymnastics, and I should try bike ride. Well, I guess biking would technically help, but you get the point. Like I just try all these auxiliary things that we know like logically are going to have no impact on how like the speed I'm running, but we try them anyway because they seem like adjacent and they could work and they're new. I was doing that on the brands, and many beginners do this. They launch and things don't work initially. So what do? They try a new product type, or they switch to gelato, or they switch to Printful, or they just try something completely random that is essentially starting over from zero. What we do now is we just keep focusing on the same thing again and again. And we know that the only path to getting the profitability is just getting better at the thing that we're already doing. AKA, in this case, like when we're looking at, again, Sloth Hiking Club, which is now done where is it? There we go. Which is now done like well over 7 figures in sales. When we first launched a brand like this, if it didn't work, what you would see the next week. So say we launch with 100 designs and we get $1.50 cost per clicks. Let's look at the leaky bucket. Let's say we launch with $1.50 cost per clicks. Let's say our average order value is decent. You can see, if you haven't seen this leaky bucket thing before, you can see it down here. $1.50, and then let's say our conversion rate was fine as well. Let's say people are adding a cart. Yeah, so we're at like okay, we're looking decent. But say I launched and $1.50 cost per click is way too expensive. But if I launch this and my designs are just not good enough to bring down this cost per click, if I go and launch what was one of the other? We did silk wraps was a popular one for a while. If we launched silk wraps, am I going to bring down the cost per click on my t-shirt designs? No. I can make 100 different silk wraps, which is just a different product type. That was what I thought was going to fix it. Or if I add hoodies, or if I add kid sizes, or if I add onesies, or if I add crew necks, or go through any product that's in the Printify or Printful collection, is that in any way, shape, or form going to bring down the cost per click? Is it going to improve the performance of my ads on my t-shirt designs? No. All that it is doing is it is restarting me at square one in a completely different race. And the fallacy that people fall into is thinking that by stacking different races together, like different competitions that you're trying to improve on, that somehow by stacking them together, which is really just entering you in like a decathlon, that's somehow improving your chances. No, it just means that you are now exponentially increasing the number of things you need to be better at. Instead, what we do now is I just sit here and I focus and I'm like, okay, I'm at $1.50 today. If I make 20 more designs, one of those is going to bring me down to $1.45. And watch what happens to the number down here at the bottom. It's going to bring me down to $1.45. Then I stick with it for another week and I make another 25 designs. And I'm like, one of those is going to bring me down to $1.35. Not exciting numbers yet. But then I stick with it for another week, another 25 designs. That brings me down to, whoops, come on. There we go. That brings me down to $1.20 cost per click. I stick with it for another week. I make another 25 designs. That brings me down to $1.05. If I stick with it for another week and make another 25 design, you get where I'm going with it. And when I stay consistent week after week, and to be clear, this does not happen, this improvement does not just happen because of the number 25. The improvement happens when I am watching what are people clicking on. I'm watching which designs that I think were going to do well and ended up bombing. I'm watching which ones ended up getting good clicks that I was not expecting. And I'm seeing what can I learn from these so that my next batch of 25 is getting better and better so that the rate of improvement increases, so that I am getting better at a faster rate than when I started. And then here's the second part. I said there were two things we do differently than how we did in the beginning. One is we stay focused on the same thing. Second is the rate of iteration. Before, I thought that there was some kind of mandatory waiting period between iterations. Like there was a cooldown period that had to settle for some reason. Like I launch a collection and then like I need to let it wait a week before I get the next round out or something. Or then
keep going. Yeah, every day. Just keep uploading designs.
Exactly. And it's like I can launch and then I can immediately just go and make more designs. It's like I can hit launch on the ads and then I can immediately just switch this tab and then just go make more designs. That's making more designs.
I think the hold up that we kind of get here is like Chris and I, if we could upload 300 designs to the site every single day, we'd be doing that, period. Like the more designs, we know it takes 1, 2, 3 designs and like your sales just ignite. So if we could be uploading as many designs as possible every day, we would absolutely be doing that. I think there's this fine line between how many products is too many products, how many designs are too many designs on the site. When do you delete? When do you take it out of the catalog? When do you take it out of, your collection? Like we don't worry about any of that. Literally none of it. We have over 2,000 designs on our site right now. We recently went through and looked at which designs have gotten 0 sales in the last 6 months. And only then did we remove those designs from the site.
Yeah.
And it was only a few. There wasn't that many. We have a massive catalog and not every design is a best seller, but they're still gaining sales. They're still driving revenue. So we don't worry about that. We don't worry about removing stuff. Every once in a while, we'll kind of just clean up those that haven't gotten sales in a long period of time. But other than that, we keep them on the site, we keep them in the catalog, and we just keep pumping in new designs.
Yeah. All right. What questions do we have? Tammy said, okay, clearly no answer on the compare price. No, Tammy, we're going through a bunch of topics. It's a live stream. It's nothing personal. You asked it 2.5 minutes ago. What's the question on the compare app prices? Compare app prices about the legal headache. No, yeah. So compare app prices. You cannot have them up all the time. So we take them down periodically on the site, and we're going to be refurbishing all the discounts on the site for Q4. So, and also like we have this is what I recommend for everybody. Whenever it comes to the big topics, which is like compare app prices, discounts, IP, trademark stuff, talk to lawyers. And the reason I recommend this is that most people think it's like a like really expensive thing to do. Like you have to like a high powered like law firm and stuff. Go on Upwork. There's fantastic lawyers on there that you can talk to for a very reasonable rate. And you don't even have to pay them for a whole hour. Like we've talked to trademark lawyers years ago for get 30 minutes of their time. And they're anywhere from, depending on where they are, like $200, $300, $400 an hour for like more expensive ones. But you get like 30 minutes of their time. It'll be $100, $200 maybe. And it's really, I can't recommend it enough. That is the only legal advice you'll ever see me give. This is not legal advice or financial advice. Don't listen to me. But in terms of what we do, we run everything through like our own, and you don't have to we started doing this after reaching 7 figures in sales. Like every business basically hits a point where it makes sense to basically make sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. But on Sloth Hiking Club and all of our brands, we're going to be updating all of our discounts and compare app prices. And another thing that's been top of mind for us recently is like AI related stuff, like specifically in terms of AI generated ad creative. You have to, I think it's in New York. Yeah, New York and like one other. Yeah, basically, if you're using AI generated video ads, videos for ad creatives, then you want to make sure that you are disclosing that on the ad creative. And then also, what's it called? There's something on Etsy recently that I saw popping up about basically disclosing it based on.
Etsy, you have to disclose if the design was made with AI.
Yeah.
That's been on Etsy for a while.
Yeah, nice. All right, I see another question here from Patty. I started with t-shirts and immediately added sweatshirts and hoodies. I did too much too soon. I have 350 designs on my site. I have sold as many sweatshirts as t-shirts. Well, first off, and I think you were the one that just said you just had like your best month or best day ever in July. Yeah, that was you, Patty. I'm not going to scroll all the way back up, but no, you definitely start with just t-shirts. The time that I recommend people add other product types is the only downside of doing it is people split focus and they split their time. But it is possible in today's day and age to set up workflows like Claude can set up an automation for you where when it launches something to a t-shirt, it automatically launches it to other product types. Yeah, that kind of thing, perfectly fine. It's not going to like water down your brand or anything. It's just as long as it is not taking your mental space. And I found that for me, when I was starting out, I was not cognizant of how much time it was taking. And it seemed like it was this kind of best of both worlds thing where it's like, oh, I'm uploading the design. Might as well just throw it on a sweatshirt. Like there's no harm, no foul to that, right? It's like, yes and no. Like, yes, you can definitely put that same design on the sweatshirt. But one, the potential upside that I believed was going to be coming is that it'll just double the sales. Not the case. It's great that you've had experience where you're getting sales. I love that. But at the same time, the other piece that I was not expecting was, or giving credence to, was the amount of time and focus from me was going into it. It's like all the little like paper cuts. And what we find more often than not, the number one reason that people are not getting sales and not getting to profitability in the beginning, or to say the inverse, to paint a positive, the way that you get to profitability and generating sales, wiener dog, much faster is by just improving the quality and the quantity of the catalog of designs that you have. Like bar none, not even close. That is the fastest way to exponentially increasing the brand. It is not through adding sweatshirts. It's not through adding hoodies. None of those things. And the whole reason that we do these live streams is not to tell people like what you can and can't do or any of that. It's just to say, path of least resistance, this is what it looked like for us, because I can.
It comes from a place of trying to help people focus, because for so long, Chris and I did this on hard mode. Like we literally were doing and thinking the same way as the majority of people on these live calls in the community. any questions that people have. The reason we are so like, no, we would suggest this and like set in our ways is because we've made that mistake time and time again. And we have learned the lesson the hard way. And so if we can speed run the majority of people through like making the same mistakes we've done, like that's our whole goal with WeScale.
Yeah. The Giovanni Design, cool logo. Happy to be here. Appreciate you doing the live chat. Happy to share my store if that is an option. Yeah, throw your store.
We have a lot of stores. We need to start.
We do have a lot of stores. Okay.
We got to start cranking through them. And I think we need to come up with like a template. I think it needs to be like, what do we think of designs? What do we think of like quick site optimization things, and just like boom, boom, boom.
Let's do this. If you would like for us to review your store, I want you to throw 3 things in the chat. 1, the name of the store. Don't do the URL because YouTube will block that out. 2nd, how many sales you have generated on the store so far. Just give us an idea of the like maturity of it. And then 3rd is your number 1 question. Not like, how do I get sales or anything like that, but like, what is the number 1 blocker that you are currently facing that you would like our feedback on? Because there's a million things that we could review on a store. Yeah, the template is for the ones that we did from in the community. Today, we're just doing it from people submitting it in the chat, Tammy. Yeah, let's do the template. So 3 things to throw in the chat. Throw in 1. There we go. We got our first one. Inner Kitty Co. 19 sales. Are my designs an issue? Let's look. Where'd the other? This is sweet. I'm having fun. Thanks for being here, guys. Happy Sunday. Inner Kitty Co. Let's see. Are my designs the issue is kind of a loaded question, to be honest. It's like, it's the issue on everybody's store. So I can just say yes right out of the gate. Let's go to all T's. Oh, I love that. That's a clever little, that's funny. It's always designs. Okay, so yes. 2 main things. Number 1, all black t-shirts.
Actually, I want to ask the chat, what do you guys think of the designs? Is there any pattern that you guys are seeing right off the bat? Just kind of scroll through. I have to say, I do like the designs. I have my opinion that I'll share in a few minutes.
Boop.
So what do we
chat
think?
saying?
Love the designs, but very similar. Bias towards owner's taste. Very AI. Don't like all black. Do they have other t-shirt colors? No, just black. Okay. So that could be something, potentially adding in other colors. Overall, same feel. They look very monochromatic. Someone said catalog, LOL. I have to say, overall, nice. I like the diversity in concepts, because there are unique concepts in all of these designs. But I would agree with a few people. It feels like it was like the same prompt over and over again. Like, I like to have some variation in the design style. Like, for example, maybe for like the tinfoil hat cat, like there's a different style rather than kind of like that creamy black and white and like more, I guess, more detailed, I would say. Like, is there a way to kind of, I kind of think of like for a tinfoil hat, a stick figure type of thing would be funny. Where like it's very much the tinfoil stands out. So I love the different concepts. I think I'd go back and try to bring in some unique styles to the designs.
Yeah, and add more. I think you have a really good one style. We need like 12 to 15 more of these. But you do have you have good diversity in terms of the concept, not good diversity in terms of the collection, or in terms of, or not in terms of the style, and also not in terms of the color of the shirt.
which color of the shirt is super easy to change. But I do like this style. This is actually very similar to this style of the design that went semi-viral for us, or not semi-viral, that went freaking bonkers for us a couple weeks ago. But main changes, start with it in terms of 80-20 principle is also, I want to show.
I feel like I need to get like a list of these going. I may make a Google Doc.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to show something. This is how I think through. I think of this pretty much every time I am optimizing stores and doing this kind of thing. I think of it like this. It's something called a Eisenhower matrix or effort impact matrix. Any like productivity nerds out there with me, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. I personally really like this stuff. Not that I pull up this spreadsheet hardly ever, but mentally in my mind, this is what I'm doing almost every time. And it's the general idea is that there's a million things you can do to improve a store, but the real question comes down to what should we do? What should we change? And the answer to that question comes down to two main things. It's what's the impact going to be? And then what is the amount of effort that's going to be required in order to execute that change? And so, which I know sounds like we're talking about t-shirts, right? Yeah, exactly. But the way that, let's see, hopefully this loads to, nah, it doesn't want to work. Yeah, it's like this. So this is just filled with example things, but the idea is you rate the thing on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most impact, like 10 being, if you do this thing, it takes you from 0 to $1 million overnight. 0 being you do this thing, it has literally 0 impact, it does nothing, you shouldn't do it at all. And then you also consider it in terms of the effort. 0 being you snap your fingers and it's done, 10 being you are grueling, like crawling through broken glass in order to get this done. So those are the axes that we're working with. Whenever I'm looking at somebody's store, I'm thinking in these two vectors. I'm not just thinking in terms of impact, I'm also thinking in terms of how much effort is it going to take. So in terms of that, the highest impact, lowest effort thing that you can do is add more shirt colors. That's very simple because it can be done in bulk with the right tools. I saw somebody ask earlier about the bulk product editor in WeScale. It's incredible and the team made this, but we use it on our brand. It allows you to literally just drag in a design and it uploads it to every different product type and every different color that you want. And it automatically sizes it onto your mockup, superimposes it, removes the background, upscales it, all of that stuff. And then checks it against our basically benchmarks to make sure like DPI and all that stuff is squared away. But you can use a tool like that, or you can set up your own Claude workflow or Codex, whatever, so that it basically puts it on more product types. So more more colors would be number one. And then second would be diversity of the design style. So I think you have great concept, which to be clear, there is a big difference between the design concept and the design style. The concept here is overthinker, like typography, plus graphic of the text. And the simplest way to think of this is a concept can be written down and described. A style, yes, it can be described, but it's much better suited to be seen. Like I can describe watercolor to you, but you're going to understand it much better if I just show you what watercolor is. But if I describe this concept to you, you can get the concept. Does that make sense? Like the difference between the two? Because that terminology makes a huge impact in terms of effort, in terms of how we work on the brands. So those would be the two main changes that I would recommend to the site. But overall, I think the catalog is moving in the right direction. But those are the changes I recommend. What's the next one, Meg?
The Tinfoil Club.
All right.
It has 29 sales. It opened 45 days ago. And their question is how to scale my winning ad because there's a lot of diversity in my sales.
The Tinfoil Club. And hats off to the cat one. It takes a lot of guts to throw your tinfoil hat in the ring. So well done.
All right. Wow, these are sweet.
Yeah, this one is based off of conspiracy theories.
These are freaking cool.
I like the vibe. I like the branding.
Yeah. And I also love the concepts. So what do you guys think? Throw in the chat. What do you notice first? We always go to the shop page first and we scroll down from here. But what do you guys notice? What's your constructive feedback?
I guess my question is too, like, it's hard to give feedback on ads when, like, what is your winning ad? Like, what design is that? What's driving?
Well, what was their question?
It's about ads.
What do they
How
say?
to scale my winning ad. Because there's a lot of diversity in my sales.
We need stats on the ads then. So throw in the chat, the owner of the Tinfoil Club, what are the stats on your winning ad? We need to know the cost per click. We need to know how many purchases and how much you've spent on that ad. But in the meantime, we can get a lot out of.
I love the diversity
reviewing.
of designs. I think you've done an awesome job with that.
Actually, I'm going to pull up their site on. The Tinfoil Club. We found it. Here it is. Here is the winning ad. Fun fact, you can do this for literally any brand. If you go to facebook.com/ads/library, and then you just type in the name and you can see their best performing ad. And the way that you can tell, it's easy here because there's only two. You can see the two ads right there. But you can tell which ad is performing better because you sort by impressions, high to low. So it's we know that this one has gotten way more impressions, which means it got more spend, and that the only reason it would have gotten more spend is if it's performing well. So,
And I guess these aren't catalogs. This is just two statics.
Yeah. No.
No, it's a catalog. Okay.
I have rabies. These are some pretty good design. Did they throw the stats in the chat? If not, we're just going to keep moving without it.
Yeah, I think it's Fitrix. Yeah. My question is, I have 2 shirts that sell the most, but around 10 to 12 different shirts that have sold. Should I create 2 winning ads with 5 shirts each, or put all 12 into one winning ad?
Oh.
Got it. Okay. So it was more about like the ad account setup kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy money. Oh, I love a good ad question. Let's see, which Mira board shall I pull for this one? And any other ad questions you guys have while we're in this genre, feel free to throw it in the chat. I'm pulling up something that'll help us kind of talk through the way that we do this. God, every app nowadays has added these like AI features. Like Miro's giving me an AI generated summary of what's been going on the board. It's like, I don't need that. Just show me the board.
Okay.
All right, here we go. We're reaching into the big bag for this. So the question here is, wait, what happened to, there it is. All right, there we go. Okay, so the question was around scaling the ads. So when it comes to scaling your Facebook ads, we use what's called the PUD ad decision tree. And here's how it works. So basically for this person, they have 2 ads that have been performing well. These are the 2 ads right here. And they
honestly, they have really good designs. I like a lot of them. I'm not surprised if these are performing well at all. The question is, when you have something that's working, like how do you scale things up? And it doesn't matter if you have design, for everybody watching, if you have designs that are working, if you're just getting started, this is basically the decision tree that I would follow. So first thing you want to check for is number of designs. So, and let's just go through it. So we have 142 designs. That's the wrong site. We have 327 products. Beautiful. Site looks really nice. So we have 100 plus designs. Beautiful. Now we want to see what stage is the ad account in. When I say stage, I mean, is it unprofitable? Is it break even? Or is it like profitable and scaling? The way we quantify that is in terms of ROAS. And this is not just specific to print on demand. This is any type of marketing, really. Any type of performance marketing specifically comes down to the ROAS, which just stands for return on ad spend. It's if I put in $1, how many dollars am I getting back? Okay. So here, after all expenses and stuff, less than a 1.8, meaning I put in $1, I get $1.80 back. I'm not profitable. I'm at break even. If I'm at $1.8 to 2, I'm at roughly break even. And then if I'm at 2.0 plus, I'm ready to scale. So I'm assuming that for this person, for the tinfoil hat, they are looking good in terms of how their performance is right now. So, and there's two sides to this question. It's one, what should I do with what's already in there? And then two, what else should I be building? So with what you're doing, what's already in there, you want to be increasing the budget by 15 to 20% every 2 to 3 days, just as a rough rule of thumb. And this is where ads can be exceedingly simple, but most people just overcomplicate it. When things are working, you spend more money. When things are not working, you spend less money. That's basically running paid ads. The issue that most people run into is they don't have like clear decision-making criteria like this. And so they just kind of go in circles. It really, when I'm running our ads, even to this day, it really just comes down to this. It's like, if I'm unprofitable, I'm spending less. If I'm profitable, I spend more. That's like 80% of media buying. Like, it's just that. Now, when it comes down to the structure, what I recommend doing, and here's like a bunch of, if this is interesting for you guys, like let us know in the chat. We can dive into this, like how we set up the campaigns and stuff today, like get into the nitty gritty, but that I don't want to go super deep on it right now if we don't have to, but we have like all the terms and stuff specced out in here. But anyway, what I would recommend for this and the way that we structure our accounts today is we have catalog campaign, design testing campaign. So catalog campaign is just like that, and then catalog ad. So for everybody, when you're first launching, you're going to run this. You're going to run one catalog campaign with one ad set and one catalog ad. Everybody, this is where everybody should start because it is the simplest, it's the most efficient, and it is literally like, I was going to say God's gift to POD sellers, but that would imply it's Zuckerberg. We're not going to go down that path. This is Satan's gift to print on demand sellers is the catalog ad. So just use that to start. Once you have designs that are performing better, like this person here with their like NSA design, Area 51, their question is like, how do I squeeze extra juice out of it? It's by creating a second campaign. The second campaign is your design testing campaign. This one, you're going to start off with ad set 1. Move this up. And then ad 1, ad 2, bear with me, ad 4. This is how, like, we spend well over 6 figures per month in our ad account. This is the exact structure that we're using. So what you're going to do is to Tinfoil Club, you are going to take whatever is getting clicks in here in the catalog ad, and you are going to, and the way you can tell is you're going to click breakdown and then product ID, and then that's going to tell you which designs are getting the cheapest clicks, or you can also see it in your store. And then you're going to launch this ad set with open targeting, 25 a day budget. And then you're going to let this run for 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. The reason for the range is if it's doing really poor, then you're going to cut it early. And what you're watching for is 50, same metrics across the board. Looking for 50 to 75 cent cost per clicks. And you're looking for a CPA around 15 to $20. And if you are higher than that, it's totally fine. You're just going to pause the ad. And this is one of the things that one of the fastest ways that beginners waste money when it comes to ads is they're just afraid to pause them. They equate pausing the ad with giving up or failure or some kind of catastrophizing event. Like basically, once I pause this ad, I'm done for, which is just not the case at all. So you're going to launch this, and then normally what happens is 1 or 2 of these will perform well, and then the rest will kind of peter out. And so these are going to kind of over time, like Frankie's having an absolute blast right now. These designs are going to not perform well. This one will do like okay, and then most likely this one will get like all of the spend. So to answer your question, you should always have this catalog ad up here. This should always be running. Started at $25 a day budget, increase it by 15 to 20%. And when I'm in the range of $25 to $100 per day, I'll increase slightly faster. Like I'll go from 25 to 50, which is technically 100% jump, but it's really not, like, because if you're only doing 15 to 20% when you're at $25, it would take like a year to get to $100. So we just ramp it up faster than that. Most important thing as we're doing this is, and to like abstract this away from just running ads, what this is really telling us is you can picture that you have a retail store, and you picture that people are coming in the door at that store, and they're going up and seeing, yeah, the dog barking did freak both of us out. Basically, you're just using the catalog as your pseudo retail store, so you can tell like what people are liking and what they're not.
Yeah.
And so you would just want to be watching that constantly. All right. How are we doing on time? We got time for a couple more?
I think so. We got a whole list, so I think we gotta.
All right, next one. Good job, Tinfoil.
Chalk and Chapel. They have 7 sales. They've been launched for 21 days. When do I start upping my Meta daily spend from $12.50 per day? By the way, I know I don't have 100 designs yet. Working on that aspect slowly. Time is an issue for me.
Isn't it for all of us?
So we're going to need some more information from Chalk and Chapel, because it's hard to determine if you should be bumping your budget or not. The biggest thing that
we don't need to. I love the brand. I love the direction you're heading in. You just need more products. I wouldn't be bumping your budgets on anything. You only have 16 products on the site. So we can just keep moving to the next one. Like, I think the mock-up looks really clean. Well, I actually love the markers in the corner. I would like to see that in the bottom corner, because it kind of distracts slightly up there. But yeah, imagine this, like zoom in, imagine that, but down here.
You think with the knot? You don't think that would conflict that?
I think it would look nice. But anyway, yeah, that's what I would do. But yeah, there's only 16 products. So I would not be bumping your budgets or anything. Just get to 100. And in terms of your time, I would highly recommend time blocking, because if you can just block off, most people when they're working on the brands, they don't realize how much they can actually get done in very few hours when you're time blocking it out in advance. Most people sit down and work on their brand like without really knowing
You're not screen sharing.
I know I'm not.
Okay.
most people do not know what they're going to be doing when they sit down with their time. They're just kind of sitting down and just like poking around at random. What you want to do instead is sit down and know that by the end of this 1 hour, I am going to be done exactly this many designs. And when you set those goals for yourself and you're like, I'm not allowed to get up from this table until I'm done with this. And here's an example. This is what, like if you take anything from the live stream, let it be this. You can time block out your schedule in advance and do this. Most people do not, but this is the most valuable thing that you can do for the week ahead. And just try a basic version of this. This is like very down in the weeds. Just block out like your 2 hour block that you're going to be working each day on your brand. One thing, if it's at the end of the day, rearrange your schedule so that it's at the beginning of the day instead. Meaning get your highest value time, the time where you are sharpest, make that happen right away and set the goal to be getting 20 designs done in the 2 to 3 hour stretch. And 20 designs in that time nowadays is very possible. Like have 2 to 3 ChatGPT windows open and just be dropping chats in across each of them. And then use Canva for the background mover. You can freaking fly. Like how many did you get done over the last weekend? It's like
200.
Yeah. So obviously Meg is like, I can't get 200 done in a weekend. Meg's a whiz, but like even a fraction of that, you can get them like, you can knock them out much faster than most people give themselves credit for. So sit down, have no distractions, have like the 20 designs already pre-planned that you're going to be working on. Like I'm going to be doing specifically typography designs because you have 2 different types of work that can go on your mind. You either have creative work or like operational work. The problem is that design creation sometimes like kind of blurs the gap and you end up doing both. So if you pre-plan, I'm going to be working on 20 designs and you kind of map out what those designs are going to be, you can actually get a lot of the creative work done in advance so that then when you're sitting down, you're just in operational mode, which is like copy pasting prompts, organizing, removing the background. Like that's not really creative work. That's just executing on the plan. But you need to feel creative when you're coming up with the plan of like, what's the creativity that's going to flow into those designs. And if you're sitting down stressed and crammed, you're like, I have so much stuff going on. I have a to-do list a mile long, or I don't have any to-do list at all. And then you're sitting down and you're like, all right, let me feel creative now. Not going to happen. A lot of times people think that they have like a design problem and really they just need to rearrange their schedule a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
All right,
and in the
next door.
meantime, I would turn the ads off to save yourself money until you have the full catalog.
There's no reason to be running ads until you have 100 designs.
Yeah. Okay. Next on the list, Second Set Society. And if you dropped it in the chat, I went back and grabbed everybody who answered the 3 questions. So don't worry, I have you on a list. So Second Set Society, they have 4 sales, just started the store live 3 weeks ago, running my second week of catalog ads. I have some ad spend, clicks below $1. Should I start running targeted ads? No, I would keep with the course. I would keep running your catalog ad and keep doing it in the cycles. What is that background? Is that water?
No.
It looks like water, like spilled water.
Yeah, it is. I thought you meant like it was like floating on water. Yeah, it is. It is spilled water.
It's kind of cool.
Is Carnegie Hall trademarked?
Probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would take that out.
We saw that last week on the live as well. So if you're making your mock-up with AI, double check and make sure, like if you're in the sports niche, it's not bringing up like the NFL or anything like that.
Oh yeah, last week somebody had NCAA on a football.
Yeah, so just double check that. The designs look good though.
Yeah.
A good plethora, very different styles.
I like this style.
Nice.
That's simple.
So yeah, now as far as your question goes, continue.
I like that.
Continue running the catalog ads.
Yeah, what's Yacht Rock? Why are there 6 designs for Yacht Rock? Or 4? Yeah, let's get naughty. Second set. Is this like
It must be like a music and like beach vibe.
okay. Sounds about right. Yeah, I would apply. Where's the? Yeah, I would apply what we were talking about earlier in the live stream. I would apply basically the chunking strategy to your designs to make sure that you have like typography, humor, typography plus graphic, and then just graphic only. And then I would aim for humor, nostalgia, and since you're in like the music ish niche, nostalgia especially is really, really strong. But in terms of this site, this is another Build My Pod site. So the theme is looking clean. Inspect.
Man, I'm getting blinded. I need my sunglasses.
There you go. Yeah, you're ready for some yacht rock.
There we go. Yeah, I am. Gotta get some,
I
gotta
love
get some
this.
blinds.
I love these tiny touches of like adding a pick
with the Second Set Society.
Yeah,
I like that. Very nice.
This is the Good Life, customer favorites. Yeah, this is nice. The site looks really clean. I would just keep focusing on how many designs was it? It was like 100 something, right? 107. Yeah, I would just aim for 200 designs. Your challenge for the next week ahead is to see if you can get 100 designs done in that week. That's the thing. And also really double check the Carnegie Hall thing. I would hate to see Meta flag you or something else flag you for that. Also, what do you think about all the blues, Meg? Navy, indigo, black, navy, purple. Maybe, is that just for that shirt? Yeah, that is just for the Blues Life. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
It doesn't bug me.
And our best selling color, it's the navy and then
navy,
charcoal.
Black, charcoal, and military green. The most boring colors you can have.
Yeah, it's always the bright, vibrant colors that look best and like draw our eye. But
yes. You know what? I do have to say there is occasionally, you know how like sometimes it's like one design on one colored shirt. Like I'm trying to think of an example of like remember we did this a while ago. It was the summer brand, and there was one design we kept running summer designs into fall, and it was on that like peach colored shirt. We like sold out Printify on like this peach colored shirt, and the design looked like crap on every other color, but peach, it was just like it took off. So occasionally you'll find like one design, it's like, oh, it has to be on this, and it was peach because it like had to do with Halloween or something, and it just freaking took off. But other than that, we keep our colors like extremely, extremely bland.
Yeah. You have much better memory than I don't know how you. Well, you dealt with all the customer service.
Yeah. When you sell out of a color and then people are mad that they don't get that color, you gotta.
I was just in the ads.
Yeah.
I was the one sending you all the angry
Chris
customers.
was like, you gotta figure it out. We're scaling. Like, they don't have any colors.
I'm like, this ROAS ain't dropping. I'm not turning off this ad. Yeah. I'm like, we can figure out how to fill the order.
Yeah.
All right, but nice brand. I like the direction you're heading in. You don't need any more of these yacht rock things, and you don't need to keep hitting the same angle. If you see one like really takes off, then make a couple more, but only after you get to 200. Like keep diversifying up to at least 200. Like totally different typography and styles. Like you are so early. Don't start following and like hyper fixating on one design style too early. But nice job with the brand. All right,
cool.
Let's rock and roll.
Okay, next brand, Odd Chef. Sales 14. I don't know if this is revenue. I'm assuming this is revenue. 14,271. How to increase conversions. Last part of the sales funnel. I'm gonna see what's going on over here.
You can just hear like
grinding
it's
off to the left.
It's a toy.
Either a big bone or chewing on furniture.
It's a toy.
Is this the right site? I assume. This looks like
I
the
think so.
profile picture on YouTube.
I think so.
yeah.
So it seems like, I guess they're,
Yes, chef. I'm in.
that's great.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
funny.
sounds like their add to cart and their initiate checkout are okay. It's the completing checkout.
Oh,
If that's, let me check and see if we have any update on that. But that's how I at least am reading it.
oh yeah. Were they the ones that were talking about the? Yeah. All right. This is great. All right. So we talked on the other brands. We had some that were. This is a good straight up CRO one. So let's do it. I'm going to start off on the collection page. Inspect. Beautiful. All right. First big lift is this banner. We want it to be. I forget the term that they have for it. I'll just describe it. It's not sticky scroll. It's when you scroll down, it should go. Notice how it's following us. We're just looking at this up here. This is a big. I didn't really circle that. Come on, there we go. That header. Notice how it's scrolling with us as we go down to the bottom. It should disappear upon scroll. Seems like a mine. Here, let's find an example. Let's see if it's different on. This one, yeah, see, let's watch the header. Yeah, see how it disappears? And then when I scroll back up, it should reappear. Yeah, this is what we want. Again, seems like a minor thing, huge impact. Because it's just taking up extra space. Most people have teeny tiny little phones, so that's taking up valuable real estate. Next, I would turn this off. I like to keep the collection page super clean. We don't need extra like stuff at the bottom there. And then also I would keep do we have the add to cart reach checkout rate?
No. Odd Chef is in the chat though. So if we can get the add to cart, initiate checkout, and then overall conversion rate, that'd be helpful.
Cool. All right. Onto the product page while we're waiting for that. Free shipping on orders 99 plus. That's fine. I would lower it. Tentatively, I would lower it down to 75. That's what's worked the best for us. Biggest lift for us here is going to be this section right in here. So you remember what we were saying about the above the fold? So we want to compress this down. Like, see how this one little button is taking up this whole extra space here? Yeah. All that space. It's tough on a trackpad.
I know.
We want to compress this down. It should be, let's go back to chalk. Yeah, perfect. See how, notice the difference here between split view.
Our Lady.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Oh, is it not going to let you shrink?
That's annoying.
That's annoying.
All right, well, that kind of defeated that purpose then. How do I get out of this? Okay.
Edit, undo, edit, undo.
Now I made it super tiny. I tried to do something fancy and it didn't work. There.
I would check it. Scroll up a little bit. See how they have the sleeve print?
Oh.
You're charging way too little for that shirt. Because if you're with Printify, I don't know where you're fulfilling from, but that extra print there, while I like it, that is an extra $4 for that print, and which is fine if you want to have it.
No. Your point is valid. Just state the point that
it either needs to be, you need to get rid of that logo to keep that price, or you need to increase your price.
Yes.
Because your margin, it's eating way too much into your profit margin.
Yeah. And all these reviews, it's like it's all positive feedback. We just want you to get to profitability. So, okay. So I would get rid of this. This needs to be fixed up. It can't be taking up 2 lines. Next, also available on backprint. I like the idea. Move it out of the way. It does not belong. Treat around your add to cart button as sacred space. This is this sacred real estate. Above and below this has the biggest impact on like how much money you make, to put it bluntly.
And this add to cart button should be much bigger, and the add to cart text should be much larger. Again, see, this, how do I undo this thing now? Close left view. There we go. See how the add to cart button here, it's full width, and the text takes up more space. You change that, your add to cart percentage is going to go up. I like the green. You don't have to change that. I would also make these icons, I like making them more subtle. Like right now, they're like very loud and in your face. These should be like nice little, the sign of a good, like these are like the supporting like info icons, is that they're there when your eye looks for them, but they don't like obstruct your view of the add to cart button. These right now, when I scroll down, my eye jumps to these more than it jumps to this. So make this bigger, increase the size of the text, get this also available in backprint, like way down here if you keep it at all. And then make these like lighter. And also on these, I'm a big fan of make the icon just the icon itself. We don't need, like, this kind of style is so common that people's eyes just like almost erase, like they just don't even see it, opposed to if you had like lean into your branding, like it's cooking, it's chefs, make it just the hat and then have just simple subtext about like 25,000 sold. Is that true? Has they sold 25,000?
They've done 14. They said it was 14,000 sales.
Oh, hell yeah. And where are all the reviews? 494.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, so you have so much. We're picky. You're picky. So is this. This is great. Yeah, you have so much more social proof. Okay, so this looks like Judge.me, I think. It might be Looks. No, I think it's Judge. Let's see. Yeah, Judge Me. See in the UTMs. Yeah, so they have a different layout where it's just like a feed. It's just like a wall of your reviews and all of the photo reviews that'll look really nice here. And I know your main question was about the
conversion rate.
Yeah, the reach checkout. These are just like going through the extra pieces. I like this section a lot. Let's see how this looks on mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Really nice. Yeah, and then this here should just go into like a feed of. Here, I'll put them on now. I definitely don't need them. Then it just goes into like a feed of your reviews, and then you can add FAQs. But again, if your add to cart, I'll put a big asterisk on all of this. If your add to cart rate is in like the 6 to 8% range, like if you're in the 6 to 8% range, then I would be making minimal changes to that because you're already in good shape. Okay, let's do this. Oh, yeah. Switch to 3-step checkout. And since you have a good amount of traffic already, I apologize, Chris at Gmail. This poor guy. He's sorry, Chris. Dude, he's gotten so many texts.
Yeah, there it is. Shipping.
I love it. I love it. This is great. Lower this to $4.87. Name it shipping and handling, and your conversion rate, specifically your reach checkout rate, is going to skyrocket because what's happening, or not reach checkout. Reach checkout is fine. It's the sessions converted. Because what's happening right now is people are getting all the way through, and because you have two things happening. One, your free shipping threshold is high. So normally if people have, let's see what you get charged with right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So people are getting charged with $12 in shipping for 3 shirts.
Yeah.
So anybody with 1, 2, or 3 shirts in the cart, your most valuable customers, they're all getting just smacked with insane
Yeah.
shipping. So this is where the drop off is coming from. So
And this is just a Printify setting.
yeah,
This is what they default you to.
yeah, the way to change it is go to settings, shipping profiles, make sure that all your products are moved to a general shipping profile, and then that you adjust it so that it's $0 to $75 is $4.87. Then $75 plus is free shipping. And then the one other setting, which is just a button to flip on this, is I would change it to 3-step checkout instead of right now it's 1 step. And your conversion rate should fly. Also, keep in mind what Meg was saying. I would watch your cost of goods heavily with those side shirt prints, but
Which honestly, you probably haven't felt it because you were kind of making up for it in the shipping.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So now you're gonna have make the change to the shipping. Definitely, your conversion rate is gonna go up a ton. But yeah, I agree with Zenrix. Very nice store, Odd Chef.
Agreed. Cool. Okay, the next store, My Kingdom.
Oh, they threw their numbers in. 1.95% conversion rate, 5.7%. Oh, let's do it.
Add to cart.
Real quick. I want to do this.
2.7.
Let's. Can you read it off to me again?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to show what we just, and for anybody who's joining, we're going through doing store reviews of people who are putting them in the chat. And what we just went through on Odd Chef store, the reason that it's exciting is not because I get super pumped about changing button colors and weird shit like that. It's because of this right here. So read off what his current stats are.
Yep.
His or theirs.
Add to cart 5.71.
Okay, so they're currently, meaning that out of 100 people that go to the site, 5, almost 6 people are clicking add to cart. So almost 6 people are going like that. Okay, and then what's the next number?
2.7 reach checkout.
2.7% of people are then clicking checkout.
And then 1.95
And then 1.95
are converting.
are
Which
converting.
honestly, that's not terrible compared to the amount that reach checkout to those that actually convert.
Yeah. So let's get all the numbers in first. So next average order value we don't have, but we can just assume an average of 45 to 47.
Maybe more depending on their shipping.
I'm gonna guess 52, and then hold on. Don't put it in the chat, Odd Chef. I love the name. I just like saying that again and again.
Everyone's just gonna start making
Odd
YouTubes.
Chef. Wow, they have a nice following. Did you see that? They have 54,000. Okay, and now, nice. We're doing some video ads. F Brunch. These are good. All right, we got murder weapons in the ad creatives, but Facebook didn't catch it. Love it. Nice. Oh, these are great. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but you guys probably can't, but I'm loving it.
Very nice.
Nice. 12,000 plus chefs
Ooh,
served.
that's got to be a good one. Yep.
Yeah. Well
I want to
done.
know, is that AI?
Well done, Odd Chef.
That is awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah. All right, I want to watch one more.
No AI, that's my arm.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think these are AI.
This is awesome. This is great.
What did this one say? Yeah, that's what I thought it said. And then also that response or reaction from me is exactly the intended reaction, because then it gets people to rewatch. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay. So all of that considered, I'm going to guess that their average, how many ads are they running? They're running 22 ads. Launched these August 1st, but they have some. This one's been running since June 25th. And what's their oldest or their worst ad?
It's the 23rd. Okay, I'm going to guess that they're running, and they must be profitable because otherwise they wouldn't have been spending this much. But their conversion rate is a 2. They must have pretty cheap cost per clicks. And these are pretty unique designs. I'm going to guess that they're in like the 50 to 60 cent range, which is pretty aggressive. But that's where I'm in aggregate in the whole account. I'm going to guess 50 to 60 cent range. And I'm going to guess $53 to $54 average order value. No.
They said we have a great CPC. Yes.
50 to 60 cents ish.
We have a great CPC.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that we got to be pretty close.
Might be great. Sounds like 45 cents. Anyway, all that being said, the reason we just made all those changes is that
That's correct.
Nice. So, the reason I just went through all that is that with the changes that we made to, and this is just a great example for everybody to like see, why does this actually matter? So like starting on the collection page, which honestly we didn't really change too much here, but besides that, there is a slight opportunity on the collection page because collection page and product page, I would love for us to get this up to like 7.5%, but with super cheap CPCs, assuming we're in like, I think they said that's correct, about like 45 to 50 cent in that range, we can tolerate a slightly lower conversion rate. But I would like to see this add to cart rate be in like the 7 to 7.5% range. And right now we're like this. So first change we made is just getting rid of this. That simplifies things, keeps people moving in the right direction, keeps them moving just to the next collection or to the product page rather. Also, I'm very curious about having 2 of the same design. Like I know it's different colors, but taking that out, what happens to, because this is the prime real estate. When somebody lands on this, you want them immediately going from like, oh, not only do they have this octopus tee that I clicked on, but they also have another octopus of the exact same, like that, even though I'm sure people asked for it and that's why they made it and people have commented and stuff. And like, that's just them being a good brand owner providing that. But is it the right thing for us to have that top of the collection? I would experiment. At the very least, I would split test. Moving it down. Same thing with these other ones, like where it's the skull and crossbones. Again, super cool designs. But I would experiment with moving them out. Like we always try to make it as, like we want each one to feel like it's like one of one. Like it's,
excuse me.
The dog just made another noise. And he's good.
He's fine.
Never a dull moment. And then here, huge, I think that with increasing the size of this add to cart button alone, that's going to take this, that's going to bump it up at least to like a 6.2. And then you can see how many more carts that adds. And then if you move this back print thing down below, that's going to bump it up a little bit more. Now, keep in mind, this is not increasing the conversion rate. Well, it is indirectly, but add to cart rate is not, it's not like we're saying that's just going to magically make more people buy. But then when we then isolate this add to cart button and we make these stand out a little bit less, even if that moves it, just call it a 0.1%, and that moves it to 6.7. And then we take this, I didn't even mention this one. We then take this, these 2 things. I like this pill style here, but we don't need to have this be a separate section. Instead, what I would do is it would be cool if as we did this, we had like AI listening to us and then it just like redesigned the site so we could see it. Maybe next time.
Tune in next week because Chris will have that built.
I don't know. So far my skills have capped out at a leaky funnel calculator. So I don't know if we're going to go with like AGI stores, maybe next month. But I would take this kind of pill style and put it around that. And then these 3 bullet points is we can get rid of this. And then we can get rid of the share button here. And then this whole section, it goes from
We don't have that anymore. These are taking up much less rental real estate. These are out of there. And then we make this stand out a little bit more, which is really like the
Gold.
yeah, the tip of the spear that we want, like really piercing the customer's like focal point. And then we amp these up. Right now, this real estate is being underutilized. And also the size chart. So this should say premium products. This should say like premium quality products. And then fast.
Well, they're drop downs.
What's that?
They're drop downs.
I know.
Okay.
Fast shipping. And then we have one of them that says like free and easy returns. There we go. And then this sizing chart one, this should just be, instead of it being a whole drop down here, instead of it being a whole drop down here, we should use Kiwi size chart and then place it up here. I think with those changes, the
or use the Build My Pod theme. I know you've made a lot of changes to your theme already, so it may just be easier to add Kiwi. But
yeah,
we did build that into the Build My Pod.
Oh yeah, I forgot we added Kiwi as well. What's happening down here? What is this thing? See that thing?
Yeah, I think it's like a weird bug. May want to check that out. It's almost like the shipping thing at the top is happening at the bottom too.
Yeah. So I would also amp up the size of this checkout button, and then I would also clean up whatever that little glitch is. And these kind of things, that little glitch is not unique to Odd Chef site. We find these things across so many sites. It's like things that you just catch once. You're like, wait, what the heck was that? But your customers are seeing it every single time, and it really makes a big difference. So then with fixing those couple of things, that'll increase like reach checkout rate. And then the biggest one of all is the converted, like that. This one here, which we didn't even really have any space left to move, is where the shipping changes is going to come in huge.
Yeah.
So all in all, and if they are, I don't think the ROAS is like this right now. I think after these changes, it could be closer to a 3, like overall. I'd be guessing right now they're probably like 2.6 to like 2.8 overall, if I had to guess. But I think with these changes, like
heck yeah, with these changes, come on Q4.
Yeah, I mean they're crushing it. So hell of a job, Odd Chef. Thanks for submitting too. This is great learning experience for everybody.
Awesome work.
Hats off. Yes, chef. I gotta watch the last season of
The Bear.
I think I missed the last.
I haven't watched any of it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yes, chef.
You can watch it in your Odd Chef.
Okay, next brand is My Kingdom Identity. They've got 24 sales. Should they be throwing more money at ads? So really, let's just take a look at the designs.
Well, what's the performance? Like,
We don't have performance.
Okay.
So if the owner of My Kingdom Identity would like to give us the analytics, that'd be great.
Oh, 319 designs. I'd love to see it. I love to see it. Get Klaviyo out of here. Klaviyo, if you're listening to this, stop putting these on people's sites. Just don't do it.
Okay, let's just get a feel. Go through.
What do you guys think?
I think that there's a nice variety. Definitely a lot of typography and typography with graphic. I would try to maybe just get some graphics in there.
If I could summarize what we're seeing do well versus what a lot of people are generating, it's this. Wait for it. It's like this, very clean, very, very clean. Like nice script style, balanced out with a very clean minimalist graphic.
Well, and the typography is balanced.
And the typography is balanced. It's that, and then there was one other that I saw that I liked. These are nice. I think that's good, but AI sometimes with this kind of style, it's sometimes like attempts to make it look crackly or like the grunge faded texture and just slightly misses the mark. Do you know what I mean? Where it just feels slightly off. It looks pretty good here, but
I
sometimes
think, I mean, I agree. I think for this site in particular, they're trying to hit more, I would say, like a male avatar with that kind of design.
yeah.
So
to put a T on like the types of designs that I see working well, but then what most people end up generating is we see this kind of design working well. I'm not saying that this is a bestseller or anything. Just put aside the concept of this and also like remove like imagine like that's not there, but it's this kind of style graphic where it's very minimalist, lots of negative space, and then like a very pointed phrase or like very to the point basically. It's not like a run-on paragraph. And then on the flip side, what AI generates most readily is this kind of thing, where it's basically like a vector graphic and what I mean by that is like there's lots of shading and stuff and tons of different colors. Again, not knocking the owner of this at all. Like I've made, God knows, no pun intended, God knows how many of these I've made. But all that aside, did we get the stats from them?
no,
Okay.
I've not received any stats.
Well, you snooze.
Yeah. It's tough with ad ones. If your question is ad related, we need the analytics because it's very hard. Like it's great that you have 300 products, but I have no idea if they're profitable, not profitable.
Yeah. So any more stats? Next
Yep,
brand.
all that. Okay. Gathervine. They have 13 sales. I think I figured out a blocker with the email subscription request. So
What's it
maybe there
called?
was like a Klaviyo thing. Gathervine.
Shop. Gathervine.com.
There we
Okay.
go.
And what's their question? Let me share this.
I think I figured out a blocker with the email subscription request.
Please help us improve your shopping experience. What brings you to our store today? Yeah, just swap this out. Instead of saying, please help us improve your experience, just say like,
We like to ask questions on ours, like on, I think Sloth Hiking Club has it. If you look at Sloth Hiking Club, it should ask you like, what kind of hikes do you like to do or whatever. For Gather and Vine, because it's like people coming together and wine related things, I think it'd be so funny to be like, what kind of wine do you like to drink? Are you like a white, red, rosé, like that kind of stuff? Because people are gonna like immediately be like, oh my gosh, I'm like a passionate red wine drinker. This is great. So I think that's the approach that I would take. So I know Sloth Hiking Club has a question. I would go check that out and basically try to mimic that, but for your own niche. And I think you're going to see a huge increase in the number of people that are going to give you their email.
yeah, use like a little wine emoji.
Yeah.
It's so funny. There's Google search results for wine or for emojis now. Yeah, so that's what I would simplify the pop-up or like clean it up a little bit. But I like the designs. They're simple, 291 products. Nice job, first of all, for the amount of volume. I know how much effort goes into that, and the diversity is good. Curated collection. Let's look at the product page. Nice. This is another
What kind of product are they selling?
T-shirts.
I mean, what brand? Give me the breakdown.
Gildan.
Okay, good.
Built to last.
Love it.
I like putting the price up here. I don't like the price above that. And then I would take this out. I would clean this, yeah, all of that. This should be.
It's taking up some valuable real estate.
You get to have one teeny tiny little sentence here. That's it. And then reviews always is just a good rule of thumb for e-commerce. Always at the bottom. That's where people not only expect them to be, but it's also where people are willing to scroll down to see them. And you can get people to scroll through all the other goodness that you have to offer. Oh, I really like that picture.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Let's clean up this, simplify this section, saying a little bit too much. This should be like more pointed. Guest favorites, FAQs, and then I would get rid of this, get rid of the email subscription thing at the bottom. The two, like 99% of the emails that we collect come from two places. One, email pop-up, two, people checking out. So.
And I don't know, scroll down. I would check this. I would add some padding on the over here at the bottom of your footer, just to kind of slide that text in slightly, make it easier on the eyes.
Yeah. Free shipping on order 75 plus. Nice.
Cool. Good work. Okay. Good job, Gathervine.
And somebody else said, I'm wondering if the price $28.99 is viable. Yeah, I don't mind $28.99. If I was you, I would just round it up to $29.99. And $29, and then you have to make it more expensive for the larger sizes to offset the increased printify cost.
Yep. And then somebody said that there's a typo in the less than 1% of use our guarantee.
Good eye. Let's see.
Us versus use.
Also, I just note what the. I also just noticed, why is the product photo?
I think they have it zoomed in. They must have changed so like it brings your add to cart up.
Oh, I think the product photo is just really long or something. I would clean that up. Less than one. What was the typo? Use.
Use.
Very good eye. Dang, you guys are good.
Nice.
All right, what's the next store?
Cool. Next store, Code Crushes store. Starting now, how to start. Okay, if you need to know how to start a catalog ad and evaluate the outcomes, we're going to turn you to the course because we can't go step by step through it.
Wait, what was the question?
They want to know how to set up a catalog ad. So if you go to my channel, Meg Heckman, click the 12-hour print-on-demand course, you're going to be in stage 4, testing. And we'll walk you through step by step how to set up that catalog ad. And then we'll also go through how to look at what you're seeing in the catalog ad, what's getting clicks, what isn't, what you should be iterating on, making more designs for.
And I would make sure that you're make sure that you have, it seems like you've kind of come up with this style for the designs. Make sure that you are basing your first 100 design, like you're doing research, and that you can point to, like, the reason I made this design is that I found that people in my niche like this kind of style and they like this kind of concept. If you're just coming up with stuff from scratch, that's fine. You can do that, but just know that you're going to have a much lower hit rate than if you learn what the market already wants and then come up with your own spin off of that. So like, see what are the typography styles, what are the art styles, what are the jokes, and like, I'm guessing that you're in the coding niche, like you're a developer or, you know, a CS major or something like that. So you know the jokes already. Just start with that as the grounding and then make that your unique foothold into the space. It's like, what do my friends and buddies who are in this space, what do they talk about? What's their insight? Like, what's our water cooler talk sound like? And then like, just leave your interjection at that much. And then where you should be borrowing from is, what are the art styles? What are the layouts? What are like the packaging for this niche that already works, that I see on Etsy, that I see on Pinterest and Redbubble. And then I'm going to take my secret sauce of my own experience, and then I'm going to combine the two. Where people like can end up spinning their wheels for a long time is when they take their own concepts and experiences, and then they also just come up with their own styles and layouts and stuff. And it's like, we're not designing for what we think looks good. We are designing for what the market already wants, because the goal is to get things that people want to buy. And you're basically, if you are isolating for no variables, then you're banking on just hitting a grand slam. But that's like finding a needle in the haystack. We want to just go for base hits right out of the gate. So,
Yep.
And then, yeah, everything that you need to know about like setting up the catalog ads and stuff is in the course. In terms of the site, I would turn off infinite scroll. If anybody else has infinite scroll turned on. And I would also just use the Build My Pod theme. Build My Pod theme like is completely free and has everything that we're talking about built into it. What's the next store?
Cool. Next store. I'm going to spell it out. MARDITARL. Co. RL. Co. Cool. Sales generated, 1 sale was 3 T's. Question, what do you think is the biggest thing stopping visitors from converting to buy? I think first thing that jumps out to me, I don't mind that the mock-ups are different, but there's a lot going on in your mock-ups that I think it's distracting from the design.
I do. I mind. I prefer one mock-up every time.
Chris prefers one mock-up.
And simplified. I like Suck It Up Buttercup. I think that's good. The main thing stopping people from buying is, yeah, the mock-ups are just too cluttered. We just need to simplify them. And what is it that people are clicking on in the ads? Because the answer to your question lies in the data that you've already gathered. And your question was, what is it that's stopping people from buying? The answer is going to be found in what is it that people are clicking on, and then when they click on that ad, what is it that they're expecting to see or find on the site that they are not seeing? Because whenever we have a huge drop in conversions, but we have people clicking to the site, it means that just fundamentally there is a mismatch in expectations versus the reality. Something is incongruent. Like I'm clicking on ad A, and then when I land on site A, it feels like I'm landing on site B. It feels like I'm landing on a different site that does not match the ad that I had just clicked on. And the simplest way to diagnose that is to just forget about all conversion rate optimization stuff and like just quiet the mind, and then just pull up your ad on your phone and then just click on, like, look at the ad, like look at the product, then click shop now, and then look at the site that you land on, and just with a totally fresh set of eyes, go, does this match what I look for? Some of the things you'll notice is it's things like, oh, this mock-up that I clicked on, that was clean, but then when I landed on the site, the first 2 products, like say that I clicked on this mock-up in an ad, and then I land and the first 2 products up here, totally different mock-ups. Like that's pretty jarring to begin with. Or say that I clicked on, this design, and there's Claude again, this design, but then I see something that's like a totally different layout. So look for the things that are incongruent. And in your case specifically, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that we can take out. Like these extra mock-ups down here, I would take out all of these, simplify it. Yeah, I would get rid of this if you know thing on the right. Sizing guide is fine.
I personally think the biggest thing is the mock-up.
Yeah, you just need to update the mock-up and fix one. So let's zoom in on the mock-up. Let's do a quick review of this. Main thing is we outline the edges of the shirt. See all of this extra space around here? We want all of that to be gone. So we want the edge of the shirt to be basically touching. Who had a good mock-up that we were looking at today? What was Chef?
I mean, theirs was plain. It's blank.
There's this plane.
Someone said they think the price is too high. I know it's
Yeah.
in,
This was a really nice mock-up, even though they just didn't have enough products. But the Chalk and Chapel, see how the shirt touches the edges, and then it's super clean. The only adjustment that I had for this one was that the markers are at the top corner. I really like having them down here instead. But yeah, $58 is a lot. Are there back prints or something on this?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so mock-ups and lower the prices.
Yeah.
All right, next store.
Yep. Cool. Floating Bobber. I like the name. I have a feeling we're about to see a fishing store. 30 sales. Are my designs good enough? Color enough variations?
Floating bobber t-shirts.
Floating Bobber?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, never mind. We found you.
We've had a good variety of stores.
Yeah.
You guys are doing a great job. This is very, very, whoa.
Whoa, that is a massive,
What the
whoa, that is a massive pop-up.
I feel like it's
I
screaming
think
at
we
me.
need to
Sign up now.
I think we can shrink that down a little bit. Okay, but for this, we're here for design.
Would you
so-
like 15%? Why are we
Take it.
yelling?
Take the 15%.
Yeah. Or else. No, but we should shrink that.
Okay.
Okay, let's inspect. What was the question?
The question is around designs. Are my designs good enough? Color enough? Are there enough color variations? That's what I'm gonna chalk it up to. I think they were trying to say.
So what was the question?
Are my designs good enough? And I guess, are there enough color variations? Maybe click, maybe how many color designs?
Okay. So the real answer to the question, are my designs good enough, is going to be answered by one metric and one metric only, and that is the cost per click. I'm going to say that again because it's really important. If you are wondering, and it's not just for Floating Bobber, it's for anybody, if you are wondering if your designs are good enough, out of everything on our Leaky Bucket calculator, out of all these different things on here, this is the one that tells us if people like our designs or not. Reason being, if we have very, very bad designs, people are going to click on them less because they do not like them. When people click on them less, that means our cost per click goes up because it's happening less frequently. When people like our designs, they click on it more, which then means it's going down. When people really, really like our designs, we're in the 50 to 75 cent range. When people are losing their freaking minds over
I
our
have
designs,
analytics for this.
Okay, I'm explaining
Okay.
like I have CTE, the cost per click. When people are losing their minds about the cost, about our designs, it's in the 30 to 50 cent range. So if anybody, whenever you're wondering, are my designs good? Are they not? Look at the cost per click. That tells you everything that you need to know. Cost per link click specifically, not cost per, it's confusing. Meta gives you two. Cost per click is if they click just anywhere on the ad. It's cost per link click. Go with the stats.
Cool. 70-cent CPC.
Nice. All right. I'm assuming that's cost per link click. Okay.
Add to cart 3.13.
All right. That is, yeah.
Oh, sorry. No. Sorry. 4.83.
Okay.
That was my bad.
What was the 3.1?
Checkout. 3.1. And then converted was 1.35.
Oh, baby. Then what is the, that's good. I love that.
What is your average order value? Floating Bobber.
I'm going to guess 43 or 42. Actually, might be a little higher, but we'll see.
Okay.
Free shipping on orders 75 plus. So what does this tell us about the brand just based on those numbers? Well,
Well, based off of your rant that you just went on, our designs are pretty good.
it wasn't a rant.
Just a little rant.
It was a very informative dissertation.
$32 average order value.
Ah. So, how many orders? Like 15?
30.
30? Wow. Okay. This is an interesting one. I like this. So, 70-cent cost per click. Go ahead. What did my rant teach us?
Our designs are good. People are clicking them. Good work. They like them in the ads.
See, it was informative. We did learn something. However, people are not adding to cart enough. That means they're not clicking. Wow, big red button. How are they not clicking that thing? We shall find out shortly. So they're not clicking add to cart. And then very few are, when they do click that, very few people are then clicking checkout. And then when they, wow, super big logo. And then when they do click that, even fewer people are
Checking out.
yeah, checking out. So what do we do about it? How do we fix just from looking at a couple of numbers? So we start by knowing that people are liking at least one of the designs. And then we just go through the funnel step by step. So we start apparel for people who'd rather be fishing.
That's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Great slogan. Okay.
Why don't you filter it? How is this organized? Is this like bestsellers?
I'm just going to shop all. Best selling.
Okay.
Okay, so starting off at the top, we are focusing on, always start with add to cart, and then we look at reach checkout, and then we look at sessions converted, and then we finish up with average order value. So actually, order of operations, we look at this first, second, third, fourth, fifth. It's like you go counterclockwise. And the reason we're doing that is it's basically in order of importance. So, and not just importance, in terms of which one has the biggest impact. So cost per click was already good. So now we start with the add to cart button, or the add to cart rate. So which pages impact the add to cart rate? It's the collection page and product page. Just going to assume this is more of a private members only live video. Gosh, people are sensitive sometimes. We're just hanging out, just looking at stores, talking about t-shirts, talking about floating bobbers. All right, so first thing that'll improve the add to cart rate is see how this page is, see the color of the shirt that's here. It's the like off green. Then we click and it goes to light blue. We want to flip that around. We want it to stay on the color that we saw on the collection page. See here, it went from maroon to the brown. Let's see here, it went from green to the brown. So first thing we can do is we want to make sure that it is congruent. Whatever is the best-selling color, we want it to show on the collection page and on the product page. Next thing is here, I would increase the size of the title. I would also move the price up to here. And then I would, if you're going to have something that they did that can work, and some sites do this, is you notice how when I click add to cart, it says please select the size. Okay, nice. Okay, there is anybody else who does that? I've seen a lot of sites where if they click on, sometimes the code gets messed up, and it will basically make it that if they choose a size and then a color, it'll just swap it. We don't want that, but it works fine here. I would simplify this, and again, we're reviewing the site. This is all to just increase the add to cart. So far, I would say that we've increased it from like 4.8 to like maybe 5. Made very few changes. Next, I would get rid of where it says free shipping on order $75 plus. We already have it up here. Next, I would get rid of this. Love your shirt or your money back, despite what you may commonly believe that people love hearing about money back guarantees. It's actually a warning flag for consumers, because
it begs the question of, if your product is so good, then why do you have to like have a money back guarantee to begin with? That kind of thing. So what you want to say here instead of love your shirt and your money back is less than 1% of our customers use our money back guarantee. And I like how it says premium, everyday comfort, built to last. These are both really good. Related products. Here, I would swap out, instead of just saying related products, I would say Fishers also love. And then I would put
Fishers?
Fishermen. Yeah, Fishers.
Fishers also love.
Yeah.
Or something with bobbers.
Fishermen, fisher women, fisher people. I don't know.
Bobber buddies.
I've been fishing like twice in my life, and they did not go well. And then I would also get rid of this floating add to cart thing here at the bottom. And I would clean up this section. Honestly, for that section, I would just look at Odd Chef. They had a really good example of this. Like this looks very clean. Like this kind of section here. Because having just like an AI generated photo is going to decrease conversion rate more than anything. And then I would move the reviews up to here and then make FAQs the very last thing on the page. And then there was one other thing on the site. Yeah. Increase the size of that, move the prices up. We already said shipping free. Then make this say just size chart and not adult unisex size guide. Okay. Remove that. Checkout. Okay. Shrink down the size of the logo on the checkout page. I'm sorry, Chris, wherever you are. $4.99. Okay, so I'd make this say $4.87. $4.99 just feels like it's basically hand selected, which consumers don't like. Okay, now back to this. So far, I would say this has brought it up to, like, I think the add to cart rate should be at least in the 6 range from that. And then we didn't really have a ton. Now I'm looking at, we kind of went through the reach checkout already. But honestly, reach checkout is not really the issue, because reach checkout was really clean. It was just then, there's this big, why is there a big drop off at sessions converted? I mean, the logo is pretty insanely sized, which we now have fixed.
And shipping was fine?
Shipping was fine, yeah.
Hmm.
Let's go back.
Yeah, what would that be?
Yeah, it is possible that it's not all, it's possible that not every product is in the right shipping profile. So what we're talking about is like, what are the things that could possibly be causing this drop off here? Because this is a pretty big drop off. Like going from here to here is pretty fine, because this was like 5 point something. So it wasn't that big. It's really this drop off here. So what I would check to the owner of this site is I would make sure that all of your products are in the right shipping settings or in the right shipping profile from Printify. And if they are not, then basically make sure that they're all in one where it's $0 to $75 and $4.87. Also decrease the size of the logo here. And it's weird that the average order value is only $32. Either one of two things are happening. Either A, you are just losing people entirely because of the shipping settings, and it must be a different, other products are in the wrong profile, which has happened to us a lot, to be clear. It's not a just off chance. I would definitely check that. The second thing that could be happening that is also very, very common is that you have a hero product that is driving a inordinate amount of the traffic. Like say, for example, an inordinate amount of the traffic, but it is, while it is just completely different than anything else that's on the site. Like, for example, I could see a world in which this design, very unique, it's provocative in like a way that would resonate with fishermen, and it's also like a unique art style. And then what if people are clicking for that and then they're getting to the site and they're not seeing anything else that's like that? I could see a world in which that's happening. And again, what we are trying to optimize for here is people on average are buying just one shirt. That screams out shipping issue, like something mechanically wrong with the setup. But it could also just as easily be that people are clicking for one design in particular, and all the other designs, like all these designs, if I clicked for the one that's on the first page and then I see just a site filled with this stuff, there's a very good chance I'm not going to buy anything else. Which the good news is once you identify it, it's very, very easy to fix. The way you fix it is start by identifying, is that actually the issue? The way you do that is you look at your ad account and you see which ads are people clicking on. Very straightforward. And I promise you'll see like a pretty like uneven distribution, like 80% or like 70% of traffic coming from one or like a cluster of a handful of designs. And then the rest of the site, especially if you look at like newest to oldest, the rest of the site can just be stuff that's unrelated. Yeah, stuff that doesn't really resonate with that, which means basically there's a mismatch. And then second, the way that I would fix it is you just literally screenshot the design that people are clicking on, and then you drop that into ChatGPT and you say, people are buying more of this design than anything else on the site. What is it like? Help me make more designs like that. And then you just keep focusing on that. And the reason that can happen very easily is that it's very easy for us to like kind of lose the thread of things. There's so many, especially with the first collection and like round of catalog, like designs that you're pushing out. It can be, there's so many numbers, so many things to be keeping track of. And like, as you are going through the motions and following new threads, like to just kind of end up down a rabbit hole and lose the plot. So just resurfacing up to a 10,000 foot view, and look, no pun intended, resurfacing with your bobber up to the 10,000 foot view and seeing what people are actually clicking on, and then gut checking yourself and looking just like I did here, sort by newest to oldest and see, okay, this is what people have been clicking on in the past 14 days. Then here's what I put out in the past 7 to 14 days. More times than not, I've seen there just be a complete misalignment.
I love these Halloween designs.
Yeah,
those
these are good.
So unique.
Yeah, this is.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
That's
kudos
hilarious.
to you. That's great.
Yeah,
I love the diversity
and the volume too. I think there was. I feel like we saw the numbers. So, yeah, 321 designs. That's freaking awesome. And site overall, general feedback, site feels very clean. And yeah, I love the CTA buttons. I would say the weakest or the biggest opportunity for improvement of the site is this section right here. And the fastest way to improve that is I would look at like this section or Sloth Hiking Club. And look at, yeah, like this looks, I can't do the mobile right now because that has a blocker on it, but looking at like this section here, and then this doesn't look as good on desktop, but it looks really, really good on mobile, which is what matters most.
Yep.
That's not an endorsement for everybody that you now have to go have one of these slider things, but it's just generally these are, I would much rather you learn the best practices and like the principles behind it than, just like copy verbatim. It's way, way more valuable for you. So anyway, that was a good number of stores. I think we got through like 10 or 12 of them there.
Yeah.
It was great. So I think we're going to wrap it up for today.
I still have a list, so I can keep this list too if we want, and get started next time maybe.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for hanging out. This has been a ton of fun. We've gone for a couple hours. Yeah, going on 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours.
Wow, that
minutes.
flew by.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was that long.
I think the dog would disagree.
I know, I think so too. I think he had fun though. He kind of was just like running around doing whatever he wanted.
Yeah, he wrecked the place.
This is great.
Yeah,
All
I do
right,
need
well,
a vacuum now.
We're gonna go clean up what Frankie just absolutely destroyed. He's our fearsome 11-pound dachshund. So we're gonna go clean that up. But thank you guys. This has been a ton of fun. I hope you got a takeaway or two from the process. And if you like these, just let us know. If you're live with us, thank you guys for being here. It's been like so awesome. Wow, highest sales day. Congrats.
Woo!
That's great.
Way to go.
But yeah, if you guys like these, if you're here live, really appreciate it. I've been having a ton of fun with them. As we're getting into Q4, we're going to be posting on the YouTube channel, then also letting you know in the free school community. So join the school community if you haven't yet. And basically the leaky funnel calculator that we just went through and all the other tools you see us using. If you click the link down below, there's basically the blueprint, brand blueprint that we share. It's completely free, but that's just where you can find all the tools. I basically just like pick out some ones that are useful to use on these live streams. And we'll be letting you know in the school community next time we go live. And as we get into Q4, that's when we're going to be sharing, like, this is very much instructive and like trying to help us prep for Q4 and like doing a lot of feedback. But then once we get into Q4, and especially like beginning of November, we're going to be like sharing our screen and like going through running the brand. Breaking down like what moves we're making, how we're thinking through the offers, and what are the metrics we're seeing like compared to last year, and also like with people in the community. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're excited to be riding along with you guys. It's been a good time, and we'll keep you posted next time we're going live. So thank you guys for being here.
Thanks, everybody.
Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.